A casual flip through the diary actually made my scalp tingle. The first line of the diary read, "Today I will test F-rank fire talent. The future is bleak." Even more bizarrely when I flipped to the last page. It said that 100 years later the demon race would breach the Tianqian Great Wall. All 9 provinces of humanity would fall. My beloved Xiao Xiao would die on the battlefield. In the end I would sharpen my blade at home waiting for death. And the world would be destroyed. And the beginning of all this was today's noon talent test. Hong Yuan rubbed his sleepy eyes. His head still a little foggy. He picked up the diary and casually flipped it open. The first line made him freeze. March 25th, 5025. I tested F-rank fire talent. Talents are graded. SSS rank is the highest. F rank is the lowest. Also, water, fire, wind, thunder. Various attributes. Today is exactly March 25th, 5025. Everyone who turned 18 today must take the talent test. Hong Yuan had just T and 18, but his test was at noon. He continued reading the second line. March 26th, 5025. I heard that Sun Xiaochuan bought a very powerful cultivation manual at the school gate yesterday. This Sun Xiaochuan was a classmate of Hong Yuan, but he was not a good person. March 27th, 5025. Although F-rank talent cultivation is very slow, I believe that man can conquer heaven, and everything has hope. March 28th, 5025. I ran into Sun Xiaochuan this afternoon. He broke through to 2-star martial artist and publicly mocked me as a waste. Killing him 100 times would not ease my anger. March 29th, 5025. As heaven maintains vigor through movement, a gentleman should constantly strive for self-improvement. I continued bitter cultivation today. I want to become the strongest martial god in the world. Hong Yuan rubbed his sleepy eyes and always felt the handwriting looked familiar. The personality revealed between the lines also felt very familiar to him. March 30th, 5025. A man who does not display his ambitions would waste his 8-foot frame in vain. I must work hard, I must strive. March 31st, 5025. I am indeed a waste. 7 days of bitter cultivation and no progress in realm. My life is over. I should go learn a trade. Reading this, Hong Yuan could not help but laugh. This person was both pitiful and endearing. The worst F-rank talent made cultivation completely hopeless. And one could only be an ordinary person. This was common knowledge. Yet this guy actually persisted for a few days. April 1st, 5025. I stayed home all day today, drank iced cola, and played Genshin Impact. Absolutely wonderful. April 3rd, 5025. Still drinking iced cola and playing Genshin Impact. April 5th, 5025. Hong Yuan, Hong Yuan. How can you be so degenerate? Have you forgotten your great vow to become a martial god? I examine myself 3 times a day. I cannot go on like this. Hong Yuan was stunned when he saw this. His just awakened mind instantly cleared. So, this handwriting was his. No wonder it felt familiar. Hong Yuan murmured. So this is my handwriting. April 6th, 5025. Liu Ruyan wants to break up with me. Probably because my talent is too poor. But breaking up is breaking up. She actually took the rice cooker with her. That is too despicable. April 7th, 5025. Xiao Xiao tested top talent. So she was admitted to a top university in advance. She is leaving today. Before leaving, Xiao Xiao found me, as if she had something to say to me. But in the end she did not say it. Hong Yuan's heart tightened at this. Xiao Xiao's relationship with him dated back to their parents. Their fathers were family friends. Their mothers were best friends. When Hong Yuan's parents were dating, they also helped set up Xiao Xiao's parents. Later the two families bought houses next to each other and became neighbors. Hong Yuan and Xiao Xiao grew up together as childhood sweethearts and were born in the same year and month. She was born 3D eyes earlier than Hong Yuan, but childhood sweethearts could not beat the sudden arrival, mainly because Liu Ruyan was too seductive. She sent Hong Yuan black stocking selfies every midnight. He was an 18-year-old young man, in the prime of his youth and vigor, and simply could not resist the temptation and quickly fell. 3 months ago, Hong Yuan confessed to Liu Ruyan. They successfully held hands and posted it on Moments. That night, Liu Ruyan took the initiative to offer herself. If Hong Yuan did not go for it, he would not be a real man. Xiao Xiao might have been avoiding suspicion, or might have been sulking. From then on, she never acknowledged Hong Yuan again. This diary had 14 lines per page. One line recorded one day, and it recorded events for the next 14 days in total. After reading the first page, Hong Yuan thought it was a prank. Probably someone imitated his handwriting and wrote some disgusting content to deliberately annoy him. Hong Yuan smiled and murmured, I want to see how the rest is fabricated. But the second page could not be opened no matter what, as if some invisible force was preventing it. Hong Yuan frowned, feeling something was off. He guessed that the person did not know how to continue fabricating, so they glued it shut. What a clumsy trick. Hong Yuan wanted to use force, But before he could exert any strength, the diary flipped to the last page on its own. January 9th, 5125. The volunteer armies organized across the 9 provinces were once again annihilated by the demon race. The bodies of those brave volunteers were all devoured by the demons, leaving no trace of bone. February 1st, 5125. The 9 provinces of humanity were half overrun in an instant. The rolling demon army was like the first darkness of evening, destroying all the light in the world. March 16th, 5125. After many years, Hong Yuan saw Xiao Xiao again. Her peerless elegance was just like before. Over the years, Xiao Xiao had earned many titles. The 4 heroes of Lingxiao, Green Lotus, Sword, Immortal, 10 great heroes, twin pillars of humanity. But when Hong Yuan saw her, he could not help but call out little girl. March 18th, 5125. It turned out Xiao Xiao had long been seriously injured. Her dantian and meridians all destroyed. She knew she did not have long to live. So she withdrew from the front line and mustered her last breath to see Hong Yuan. March 19th, 5125. On her deathbed, Xiao Xiao leaned in Hong Yuan's arms. She took his hand and said, "When I left home, I had wanted to tell you. Let us make up. But I was too embarrassed to say it. If I had not been angry with you back then, if I had been braver at that time." March 20th, 5125. Hong Yuan buried Xiao Xiao in the back forest. This was a place he often played with her when they were young. After half a life of wasted time, he also had a sentence he never got to say. He gently touched her gravestone and said, "If there is a next life, I will never let you down." July 22nd, 5125. The demon army has reached outside the city. All the defending soldiers have died in battle. There is no hope left in the world. In the end, darkness descends and calamity befalls the light. I do not want to be eaten by demons. I want to die with dignity. I sit at home sharpening my blade, waiting for the demons to come. After reading the last part, Hong Yuan felt a little sad, because the content was very realistic, and he could empathize. But Hong Yuan could be 100% certain that this diary was just a prank. 5,000 years ago, the demon race was banished to the barren northern wasteland. Now they could only barely survive, and with the Tianqian Great Wall blocking them, it was absolutely impossible for the demons to march south into the 9 provinces. Hong Yuan would rather believe he had F-rank talent than believe the demons could breach the Tianqian Great Wall. Hong Yuan casually tossed the diary aside, completely ignoring it. He got up and checked the time. 10 in the morning. He had to test his talent at noon. His home was on the 16th floor, 1 elevator, 2 households. When he pushed the door open, the neighbor opposite also opened their door. A long-haired, beautiful girl walked out from behind the door, with skin as fair as jade, and a flawless face. Her eyes were big and round. Although her features had not fully matured, she already had the outline of a nation-toppling beauty. Hong Yuan asked knowingly, "Isn't this Sister Xiao Xiao? I have not seen you much lately. Are you deliberately avoiding me?" Xiao Xiao ignored him and walked to the elevator on her own. Hong Yuan beat Xiao Xiao to it and reached out to press the down button. "Are you going to test your talent?" Xiao Xiao still did not respond. Hong Yuan shamelessly said, "Little girl, why are you ignoring me? Are you angry at me?" Hearing that familiar address, Xiao Xiao was slightly moved, but quickly read into indifference. "You have a girlfriend now. Watch your words. I am afraid Liu Ruyan will misunderstand. What is there to watch between us? You have probably seen me in my open crotch pants when I was a kid." The elevator door just happened to open. Xiao Xiao walked into the elevator and spat out one word, "Scram." Hong Yuan was not annoyed and smiled as he followed into the elevator. An angry woman was the hardest to coax. He could only keep being shameless. In the elevator, Xiao Xiao deliberately kept her distance, with an attitude of keeping people at arm's length. "You look terrible. Who bullied you?" Hong Yuan rolled up his sleeves, daring to make my Xiao Xiao mad. "I will teach them a lesson for you." Xiao Xiao remained unmoved. The elevator quickly reached the first floor. Hong Yuan got on his e-bike and drifted to a stop in front of Xiao Xiao, flashing what he thought was a handsome smile. "Want to ride on my e-bike?" Xiao Xiao, expressionless, got on her own e-bike and sped off. Hong Yuan rode after her. "Wait for me." Xiao Xiao had her back to him and went even faster. After finishing high school at about 18, it was time to test talent. If the talent was too poor, one could only go to an ordinary university or learn a trade. Poor talent could still cultivate, but it was hard to achieve anything in martial arts and was a complete waste of time. Better to go to an ordinary university. Those with excellent talent had to take the martial arts university entrance exam and become respected martial artists. Martial artists had long lifespans, could retain their youth forever, and could move mountains and seas with a wave of their hand. In this world, the strong were respected. Martial artists had fame, status, money, and beautiful women. Even if an ordinary person became the richest in the 9 provinces, They could not compare to a powerful martial artist. When the two arrived at the testing site, the playground of Jianghuai High School was already crowded with people. The test would not start until noon. These people came so early. Hong Yuan could not help but complain. Why are you all rolling so hard? He was very tall and stood out in the crowd, still in his growth spurt, and would be at least 182 centimeters in the future. Why are you ignoring me for no reason? Hong Yuan was talking to Xiao Xiao when a shout came from behind. Yuan go. It was Liu Ruyan's voice. Hong Yuan turned around and saw a pretty girl with big breasts, a thin waist, and long legs, wearing a pencil skirt. Xiao Xiao was a delicate beauty. Liu Ruyan had an intellectual charm, although Xiao Xiao was much better looking than Liu Ruyan. If most men had to choose, they would choose Liu Ruyan. An icy beauty was certainly beautiful, but could only be admired from afar, not touched, and inevitably seemed a bit ascetic. Liu Ruyan was coquettish yet aloof, and more attractive to men. Liu Ruyan grabbed Hong Yuan's arm with a delighted tone. Yuan Gu, I came early. I have been waiting for you for ages. Hong Yuan only felt his arm wrapped by two mountains, and the feeling was indescribably wonderful. He almost wanted to start practicing right there. Seeing Xiao Xiao beside them, Liu Ruyan acted as if she had just realized. You are here too. Xiao Xiao ignored her. Hong Yuan interjected. I ran into Xiao Xiao when I left home, so we came together. Ahead were several small dark rooms, where everyone would test their talent later. Liu Ruyan looked at the dark rooms and clasped her hands in prayer. Heaven bless me. I must test out a top talent. Hong Yuan remembered the diary content and asked, if I test out the worst F-rank talent, would you break up with me? Of course not, are you stupid? I can swear on it. Liu Ruyan exclaimed. Do you not know me well enough? I am not a snob. Hong Yuan felt ashamed upon hearing this. He had actually suspected Liu Ruyan because of a diary. Talent grades from highest to lowest. SSS rank, SS rank, S rank, A rank, B rank, C rank, D rank, E rank, F rank, S rank and SS rank are very rare. 1 in 10,000. And easily get into top on universities. A rank for first-class universities. B rank for second-class universities. C rank and D rank for third-class universities. E rank and F rank are the worst. No future. Cultivation is a waste of time. Better to go to an ordinary university and work. At 12 o'clock, the talent test began. People went into the small dark rooms one after another. Liu Ruyan smiled sweetly, with two dimples appearing at the corners of her mouth. Didn't your rice cooker break a couple of days ago? I bought you a new one. It's in my car. I'll give it to you later. Hong Yuan got goosebumps upon hearing the words rice cooker, and was about to ask, when a voice suddenly came from the platform. Hong Yuan, come for testing immediately. Hong Yuan, come for testing immediately. Hong Yuan, come for testing immediately. They'll talk to you when I get back. Hong Yuan said to Liu Ruyan, and ran toward the small dark room ahead. The floor of the small dark room was drawn with an array, standing in T. Center of the array. One could awaken their talent. Only Hong Yuan was in the room. He walked to the central circle, and white light rippled beneath his feet. Hong Yuan floated in midair, and the white light flowed into his body. An indescribable power spread throughout his body. The small dark room blocked vision, so no one outside could see inside. To protect the students' privacy, there were evil cultivation organizations everywhere in the 9 provinces, who loved hunting people with rare talents. Hong Yuan slowly landed. Feeling full of power, he muttered under his breath, I am definitely not F-rank talent. The testing machine quickly printed a report, recording the tester's talent and attribute. Hong Yuan picked up the paper and glanced at it. There were only 2 lines of text on it. Talent rank F rank. Talent attribute fire. Hong Yuan stared blankly at the report, his body trembling slightly. The things recorded in that diary were actually true. Then in future, Liu Ruyan would break up with him. The demon race would breach the Tianxian Great Wall and march south into the 9 provinces. Xiao Xiao would die, and humanity would be destroyed. Hong Yuan was extremely agitated at this moment. First because of the F-rank talent, and more because of the demon invasion 100 years later. Seeing Hong Yuan walk out of the small dark room, Liu Ruyan jogged over. Yuan go, what talent did you test? Hong Yuan hesitated slightly. F-rank was too trashy, like scoring 0 on an exam, and he was embarrassed to say it. But he quickly let it go. The diary had recorded it, that with poor talent Liu Ruyan would break up with him, and even take the rice cooker away. Hong Yuan no longer hesitated, and told the truth. I have the worst F-rank talent. You can keep your rice cooker. I do not need it. Liu Ruyan was stunned, and found it hard to believe. Yuan go, are you joking? Hong Yuan tossed the report to her, in a casual tone. If you do not believe me, see for yourself. Seeing the report, Liu Ruyan's expression flickered, and a lot of thoughts crossed her mind in an instant. After a moment, she put on a fake smile. Do not lose heart. Maybe there is still hope. Although Liu Ruyan was encouraging, Hong Yuan could hear the emotion in her voice, which carried a hint of distance. She used to start every sentence with Yuan go, but this time it became a simple you. I think you are not in a good mood. Go home and rest early. I still have to take the talent test, so I won't go with you. Liu Ruyan already had thoughts of breaking up, but because there were so many people on the playground, she maintained appearances. Hong Yuan felt complicated. Loss, irritation, helplessness, worry, despair. All kinds of emotions tangled together. F rank could only be at the bottom of society. But with the diary content, there might be a chance to turn things around. He remembered a passage from the diary. March 26, 5025. I heard that son Xiaochuan bought a very powerful cultivation manual at the school gate yesterday. That powerful manual son Xiaochuan bought might be his chance to turn things around. Today is March 25, 5025. So yesterday in the diary was actually today. Zhonghua University had a front gate and a back gate. Hong Yuan quickly ran to the front gate. Arriving at the front gate, he looked around, but did not see any merchant selling books. He rushed to the back gate without stopping, and as soon as he arrived, he saw son Xiaochuan. A slovenly old man was pulling son Xiaochuan, dressed in rags like a beggar. The old beggar said tirelessly, "Kid, although you look like an ape, you still have something going for you. At such a young age with a fat physique, you are truly a once-in-10,000 years fool. Here are 4 cultivation manuals, destined to be with you. 1,000 yuan for one." Hong Yuan shoved son Xiaochuan aside and crouched in front of the old beggar with an quiet smile. "Old sir, I will take all 4 of these manuals." The old beggar was stunned, with a hint of surprise in his eyes, but quickly regained his smile. One person can only buy one. First come, first served. The chubby son Xiaochuan was pushed aside and was about to get angry, but when he saw it was Hong Yuan, he immediately fell silent. Son Xiaochuan used to bully Hua Fei, and Hong Yuan had fought him over it. Son Xiaochuan had no power to fight back, and could only take the beating. The 4 books in the old beggar's hand were Great Heavenly Immortal Art, 8-9 Mysterious Art, Great Sun Indestructible Body, Myriad Treasury Sword Canon. Hong Yuan turned his head and looked at son Xiaochuan, and said impatiently, "Are you buying or not? If not, get lost." Son Xiaochuan flinched, and looked at the 4 books. After a moment of thought, he pointed at Great Sun Indestructible Body. "I want this manual." Great Heavenly Immortal Art was the manual Patriarch B. Odi passed to Sun Wukong. 8-9 Mysterious Art was the manual Jade Cauldron True Man passed to Yang Jian. Hong Yuan preferred Sun Wukong, but in a real comparison, Yang Jian was slightly stronger. Hong Yuan pointed at 8-9 Mysterious Art. "I want this manual." The old beggar handed the manuals to the 2. 1,000 yuan each. Hong Yuan scanned the code to pay, and said, "Old sir, don't leave in a hurry. A friend of mine also wants to buy a manual. Please wait for me a moment." The old beggar nodded. "You better be quick. Once I sell all 4 manuals, I will leave." No waiting. Hong Yuan rushed back to the playground and called Xiao Xiao, but no one answered. Little brat, still throwing a tantrum at a time like this. He searched around, but with the playground packed with people, he could not find Xiao Xiao anywhere. He grew more and more anxious. When people get anxious, they act recklessly and do irrational things. This is called being hot-headed. A staff F member held a loudspeaker, playing a repeated message. "Please do not spit or litter. Keep order and do not make loud noise." Hong Yuan was already hot-headed. He snatched the loudspeaker, turned off the repeated message, and turned the volume to maximum and shouted at the top of his voice, "Everyone look at me. I have an announcement." The voice spread across the playground and instantly attracted everyone's attention. Hong Yuan stood on a high spot and shouted with all his might, "Xiao Xiao, let's make up." This sentence was supposed to appear 100 years later, at Xiao Xiao's dying moment. But now Hong Yuan shouted it early. This sentence carried the 100-year regret between them, just like the last line of the diary. "If there is a next life, I will never let you down." Only a few seconds passed before his phone rang. Hong Yuan quickly answered, and heard Xiao Xiao's shy and angry voice. "Are you sick?" Although Xiao Xiao was cursing, having grown up together, Hong Yuan could tell that Xiao Xiao was not actually angry, but rather shy. Hong Yuan said, "I have something important. Come find me quickly. Wait for me where you are." Xiao Xiao said and hung up. Hong Yuan let out a long breath. He could tell Xiao Xiao had forgiven him because of the hard running. Xiao Xiao's face was red. She ran up to Hong Yuan, panting, and asked, "What is it?" Hong Yuan took Xiao Xiao's hand and said concisely, "I met a senior who is selling top-tier cultivation manuals. If you can get one, your future cultivation will surely go smoothly." Xiao Xiao followed Hong Yuan to the back gate, and looking at their joined hands, her already red face grew even redder. When they arrived, the old beggar was still at the back gate, but had only one manual left. Great Heavenly Immortal Art had been bought. and only Myriad Sword Canon remained. Hong Yuan sighed. Still a step too late. Only this manual is left. The old beggar looked at Xiao Xiao, and a flash of golden light passed through his eyes. So-called better late than never. This manual is just right for her. Hong Yuan scanned the code to pay for Xiao Xiao, and asked at the same time, who bought great heavenly immortal art? You want to cause trouble, don't you? The old beggar saw through his thoughts. Hong Yuan smiled awkwardly. The old beggar continued. You have 8-9 mysterious art. He has great heavenly immortal art. You two are destined rivals. So do not worry. You will surely meet one day. After selling the last manual, the old beggar slowly stood up and casually brushed the dust off his clothes. Seeing the old beggar about to leave, Hong Yuan stepped forward and asked, Old sir, can you tell me your name? A name is just a label. No matter how you call it, it's all the same. You can decide for yourself. The old beggar did not look back and left on his own, leaving only one sentence. If you wish, you can call me old sir, or you can call me old beggar. Mysterious and cryptic. Hong Yuan muttered and then murmured, I will just call you old beggar. The two rode their e-bikes, both much slower than before. A curve formed at the corner of Xiao Xiao's mouth, and her smile was as bright as the morning sun. Ho! Ying Yuan also smiled and asked, Does this count as us making up? Xiao Xiao hummed. Then I will magnanimously forgive you. Hong Yuan added, What do you think of Liu Ruyan? I plan to break up with her. Xiao Xiao was silent for more than 10 seconds before saying, Don't worry about what I think. What you like is what matters most. Hong Yuan knew he had asked the wrong person. Xiao Xiao, this silly girl. Even if she did not like Liu Ruyan, she would not speak ill of her behind her back. Hong Yuan could only say, Anyway, I plan to break up with Liu Ruyan. Xiao Xiao's riding motion faltered, and she nearly fell. She quickly steadied herself and asked, Why? Hong Yuan said, I tested F-rank talent. Liu Ruyan thinks I have no future and wants to break up with me. I do not want to be dumped, so I will take the initiative. Xiao Xiao said bluntly, You have already tested F-rank talent. What face do you even have? Hong Yuan was helpless. That is true, but these two things are different. Xiao Xiao changed the subject. Could the manuals we bought be fake? Hong Yuan said, Try cultivating first. If something feels wrong, stop. He was not completely sure either, and the diary content was not very clear. Hong Yuan suddenly remembered something. By the way, what talent did you test? Xiao Xiao hit the brakes. Hong Yuan also stopped quickly and asked, What are you doing? Xiao Xiao said, I can tell you, but you must not tell anyone else. I am afraid people will target me. Hong Yuan solemnly promised. I won't tell a single word to anyone. The Xiao Xiao in the diary was very powerful, and Hong Yuan had his guesses. Xiao Xiao walked up to Hong Yuan and first reminded him, After I tell you, do not make a big fuss. Then she leaned in slightly and brought her lips close to his ear. Her voice so low it was almost inaudible. I tested 2 talents. One is SS rank, glazed jade sword, which should be a sword-type talent. Hong Yuan suppressed his shock and pressed further. What about the other talent? The other is SSS rank, purifying world green lotus. I am not sure what attribute it is. Although he did not know the attribute, SSS rank was definitely extremely powerful. My God, simply heaven-defying. Hong Yuan whispered in awe. He remembered the words from the diary. That Xiao Xiao earned the title Green Lotus Sword Immortal. Could that refer to glazed jade sword and purifying world green lotus? Human nature was very dark. If Xiao Xiao's talent spread, it would certainly provoke jealousy. Hong Yuan warned. These 2 talents and the Myriad Sword Canon. You must not tell anyone. There are many good people in this world, but there are inevitably evil cultivators. The Great Xia Kingdom had evil cultivation organizations that loved hunting people with rare talents. If Xiao Xiao's talent got out, she would surely attract evil cultivators to hunt her. Hong Yuan added, Our talent attributes are immediately transmit D to the database. With your aptitude, you will receive attention from higher-ups. Just stay home for a few days, and someone will probably come looking for you soon. Xiao Xiao said and got on her e-bike. The two rode home side by side. When Hong Yuan got home, he was the only one there. His parents were on a mission, and his younger siblings were still in high school. He took out his phone and prepared to send a message to break up with Liu Ruyan. He composed a long message. We once loved each other, and that is enough. After the breakup, may we both become better versions of ourselves. Hong Yuan moved himself, but after sending the message, a red exclamation mark appeared on the screen. Damn it! Hong Yuan was impressed. Liu Ruyan was too quick. He had ultimately been too late. Utterly heartless. He was only F-rank talent, and she did not even bother to say a word, and just blocked him directly. Hong Yuan had been intimate with Liu Ruyan many times, and though there was some affection between them, he had originally felt a bit guilty and reluctant, since she was a free casual partner. But he never expected this woman to save him no face, and not even waste a single second. What was done. What else could he do? Hong Yuan composed himself and took out the 8-9 mysterious art to read its contents. The first page only had 2 sentences. Cultivate the wonders of the 8-9 mysteries, and you may roam freely across the world. This sentence had a very high aura and translated into, once the 8-9 mysterious art is fully cultivated, you can walk sideways anywhere under heaven. The second page said, the maximum Yin number is 8. The maximum Yang number is 9. The product of 8 and 9 is the largest number in Taoism. Thus, heaven and earth have 9 palaces, 8 trigrams, and 72 seasonal periods. 8-9 mysterious art, 8 Yin and 9 Yang. The human body contains Yin numbers and Yang numbers. This is a person's fate. The head follows heaven as the Yang number. The feet follow earth as the Yin number. The third page reads, 8 transformations, 9 cycles return to pure Yang. 8 transformations means removing 8 Yin numbers. 9 cycles means transforming 9 Yang numbers. Removing means eliminating. 8 transformations means eliminating 8 Yin numbers. Transforming means merging. 9 cycles means merging 9 Yang numbers. Eliminate 8 Yin numbers. Merge 9 Yang numbers. This only counts as great accomplishment for the 8-9 mysterious art. To cultivate to perfection, one final step is needed. Return to pure Yang. Pure Yang means Yang energy is pure and single, supremely strong and supremely Yang, containing the power to burn all life. Each time Yang numbers are merged, the cultivation realm rises greatly. Each time Yin numbers are eliminated, the cultivator gains a divine ability. A total of 8 Yin numbers are eliminated, so 8 divine abilities are obtained. They are stronger with each battle. Heavenly Eye, threefold gathering of energy. 72 transformations. Earth skimming golden light. 3 heads and 6 arms. Heaven and earth manifestation. Indestructible primordial spirit. Only after completing the 8 transformations 9 cycles and returning to pure Yang can the 8-9 mysterious art reach perfection and the physical body become a saint. Before the age of 18, one's talent is not yet fixed, making it difficult to measure talent accurately. So testing is done at 18. Cultivation before 18 can damage the body and seriously harm one's talent. Cultivation requires a cultivation manual. Ordinary manuals are not expensive, only about 4,000 to 5,000 yuan, available in ordinary bookstores. But cultivation speed is very slow. Better manuals cost more than 10 times as much, equivalent to a car. Hong Yuan read for 5 hours. Before Ting down the 8-9 mysterious art, it was already dark outside. He sat cross-legged, closed his eyes, and began breathing according to the book's description. The vast and mixed energy between heaven and earth was the spiritual energy needed for cultivation. Hong Yuan emptied his mind, concentrated his mind on his dantian, and breathed slowly. First 8 long breaths and 9 short inhales, then 9 long breaths and 8 short inhales, repeating the breathing and absorbing energy 72 times. Made one small cycle. Hong Yuan breathed at this frequency, and before he knew it, a warm current entered his body with his breath. This was spiritual energy. Hong Yuan opened his eyes and looked at his phone. It was already 10 at night. With F-rank aptitude and an ordinary manual, even after a full cycle of breathing, one could not obtain a single wisp of spiritual energy. But following the 8-9 mysterious art breathing method, he obtained 1 wisp of spiritual energy in just 5 hours. This was Hong Yuan's first time breathing. With practice, he might get 1 wisp in 3 hours. It was still early. Young people who sleep before midnight are wasting their lives. Hong Yuan closed his eyes and repeated the breathing A and D absorbing, and did not open his eyes again until 3 in the morning. A high school teacher once said, breaking through to 1-star martial artist requires 10 wisps of spiritual energy. Meditating 15 hours a day can yield 3 wisps of spiritual energy, and soon he could advance to 1-star martial artist. Martial artist was the initial realm, followed by martial master, martial spirit, martial king, martial emperor, martial ancestor, martial venerable, martial saint, martial emperor, martial god. Each major realm has 10 minor realms, from 1-star martial artist to 10-star martial artist. Upon reaching 10-star martial artist, one can break through to martial master. Breaking through a major realm is very difficult, and failure is easy with the slightest carelessness. Hong Yuan slept until 10 in the morning, only 6 hours of sleep, yet still felt energetic. This was due to the nourishment of spiritual energy. Even without 8 hours of sleep, he felt refreshed. He got up, ordered takeout, washed his face, brushed his teeth, and went to the bathroom. When he came out of the bathroom, the takeout had just arrived. After eating, he continued cultivating. For the next 3 days, Hong Yuan did nothing but eat, sleep, and meditate. Soon he accumulated 10 wisps of spiritual energy. He opened his eyes and rested for a while. Breaking through a minor realm was very simple, and usually would not fail. Hong Yuan gathered his energy, closed his eyes, and the 10 wisps of spiritual energy in his body gathered in his dantian, slowly merging together. The 10 wisps of spiritual energy intertwined and melted into one furnace, forming a small mass of white gas. The white gas was very faint in color, and only the size of a coin. Merging 10 wisps of spiritual energy meant Hong Yuan had broken through to one-star martial artist. The sun was setting, and the evening glow spilled into the room. Hong Yuan exhaled the turbid air, feeling refreshed, but his stomach growled with hunger. If only his mother were home. He was about to order takeout when the doorbell rang. Who is it? Hong Yuan got up and opened the door. It was Xiao Xiao. She asked, "Have you eaten? I am a little hungry." Xiao Xiao's parents and Hong Yuan's parents both worked at the security bureau. Hong Yuan's father had the highest realm, at 3-star Marshal King, and was also the deputy director of the security bureau, a notable figure in Jianghuai province. Liu Ruyan had seduced Hong Yuan back then, mainly because his family had power and influence, and she wanted to climb the social ladder. Hong Yuan's parents had excellent aptitudes, so Liu Ruyan thought his aptitude would not be too bad. Who knew that Hong Yuan would drop a big one and test F-rank talent? Hong Yuan suggested, "How about ordering takeout?" Xiao Xiao did not agree. "No, I am sick of takeout every day." After the two made up, Xiao Xiao returned to her normal attitude. Hong Yuan had no choice but to agree. "All right, I will go out to eat with you." Xiao Xiao was stunned. "Why are you being so agreeable all of a sudden?" Before, when she asked Hong Yuan to accompany her, he would grumble, and even if he agreed, it was reluctant. Hong Yuan had seen the diary content and felt those things were happening before his eyes, so he wanted to reform. "From now on, I will never act like a jerk to you again," Hong Yuan promised, "and I will never make you angry again." "Are you possessed?" Xiao Xiao was not used to it. "I actually prefer the cheeky you. You should have said so." Hong Yuan's attitude did a 180. "I am too lazy to go out to eat. If you are going out to eat, bring me back some food while you are at it." Xiao Xiao immediately regretted it. "How can you go back on your word? Do you not like the cheeky me?" Hong Yuan acted as if he was in the right. "I cannot be bothered to talk to you." Xiao Xiao got angry again and closed Hong Yuan's door. "I really do not understand what girls are thinking." Hong Yuan quickly opened the door, and seeing Xiao Xiao about to enter the elevator, he chased after her. "Wait for me." The two squeezed into the narrow elevator, and Xiao Xiao was throwing a little tantrum again. Hong Yuan tried to make small talk. "I just broke through to one-star martial artist." "Impressive, right?" Xiao Xiao gave a sarcastic laugh, and 3 seconds later said proudly, "I am already 3-star martial artist." A flash of surprise crossed Hong Yuan's face, and turned into deep envy. The gap was way too big. It was worse than being killed. Breaking through to 1-star martial artist required 10 wisps of spiritual energy. 2-star 20 wisps. 3-star 30 wisps. In just 3 days, Xiao Xiao had meditated to 60 wisps of spiritual energy, 6 times faster than him. Hong Yuan was a little smug, but Xiao Xiao's next words made him unable to stay happy. "I still need 3 wisps of spiritual energy to break through to 4-star martial artist. I have been so tired these days, having to cultivate 4 or 5 hours every day." Hong Yuan muttered upon hearing this. "I cultivate 15 hours a day, and struggled to break through to 1-star. And you did it so easily. The world is so unfair." The psychological gap was too big. No wonder evil cultivators hunt geniuses. If Xiao Xiao were not his childhood friend, Hong Yuan would want to punch her and say stop showing off. Hong Yuan's family had a car, but he did not have a license, so he could only ride an e-bike. The two came to Qinggan Plaza, which had restaurants, bars, cinemas, and fur clothes, jewelry, and accessories. Looking at the dazzling mall, Hong Yuan asked, "What do you want to eat? Hot pot or spicy hot pot? Both work." Xiao Xiao replied. Hong Yuan said, "Let's have hot pot then." Before leaving, his parents had left him 30,000 yuan for living expenses, so he was not short of money. Qinggan Plaza had dozens of hot pot restaurants. Hong Yuan familiarized himself with the way to Yujingxiang. Yujingxiang was the top hot pot restaurant, with a minimum per person cost of 2,000. Looking at the high-end luxurious decor, Xiao Xiao tugged at Hong Yuan's clothes and whispered, "This place is too expensive. Let's go somewhere else. I think the self-service rotating small hot pot is also very good." The self-service small hot pot was only 28 yuan per person. Very affordable. Hong Yuan patted Xiao Xiao's hand and comforted her. "I have a membership card at Yujingxiang, and there is still money on it." Liu Ruyan also liked hot pot and often asked Hong Yuan to accompany her, because Hong Yuan always paid. He got a membership card with 5 or 6,000 left on it. There was a line at the entrance of Yujingxiang. Hong Yuan went to get a number and came back to find Xiao Xiao. "There are 2 tables ahead of us. We will probably have to wait a while. Let's go buy 2 cu. PS of milk tea." What do you want to drink? I will have lemonade. From Mishua Bingqing. Hong Yuan was stunned upon hearing this, and thought of Liu Ruyan again. Both were women, and Xiao Xiao was worlds apart from her. He remembered one time, when he excitedly bought Liu Ruyan some milk tea. She got angry and said, I do not drink cheap milk tea. I only drink Starbucks. That milk tea was not cheap. 24 yuan. 6 times more expensive than Mishua Bingqing. Liu Ruyan's clothes, pants, bags, jewelry, and even her sanitary pads were all paid for by Hong Yuan. In 3 months of dating, he had spent at least several $100,000. His parents thought he had picked up bad habits, but when they heard it was for chasing girls, they let it go. Liu Ruyan only gave him a pair of sneakers, claiming they were an 8,000 yuan luxury brand, but they came unglued after 2 days, and a web search revealed they were knockoffs. Looking back now, it was ridiculous. He had been played for a fool by Liu Ruyan, a complete brainless sucker. If he had not seen the diary, he would have wanted to marry her and grow old together. Hong Yuan took a deep breath and shook off the distractions and said to Xiao Xiao, you do not need to save money for me. I have money, but I just want lemonade from Mishua Bingqing. Xiao Xiao blinked her big eyes. With a pleading tone, Hong Yuan smiled helplessly. All right. If you want it, I will go with you. Because they were having hot pot. The two bought 4 cups of lemonade, and by the time they came back their number was called. The two jogged toward Yujingxiang and followed the waiter to their table. Hong Yuan handed the menu to Xiao Xiao, and she looked at the prices. Snowflake beef cubes, 688. 8-head abalone, 888. Mushroom platter, 1,088. Grouper, 658. Ongeli lamb rolls, 888. Special beef rolls, 1888. Looking at the menu prices, Xiao Xiao's frown deepened. With the waiter standing right there, she would only say, I am not that hungry anymore. It is not your money. Hong Yuan glared at Xiao Xiao, and then said to the waiter, mushroom platter, snowflake beef cubes, 8-head abalone, sliced ongeli lamb rolls, and special beef rolls, 1 of each. Forget the grouper. I remember you do not like fish. You ordered too much. I cannot finish it. Xiao Xiao's face was full of panic. Hong Yuan showed a mischievous smile and asked knowingly, I am paying. Why are you more anxious than I am? Xiao Xiao's face turned red, and she reached for the lemonade, pretending to take a sip. Xiao Xiao's family was not short of money. Her parents also worked at the security bureau and had high salaries. But when Xiao Xiao was little, her mother was injured while traveling for fun, and because it was not a work-related injury, she had to pay for the treatment herself, accumulating a lot of debt and even borrowing from Hong Yuan's family. So she had developed a habit of saving. The food soon arrived, and as they ate, the delicious food lifted their spirits, and both of them felt better. Try this beef roll. Hong Yuan cooked a slice and placed it in Xiao Xiao's bowl. Just then a discordant voice came. Hong Yuan, you scumbag. Two-timing me. I am breaking up with you. Hong Yuan and Xiao Xiao turned around at the same time. Liu Ruyan was standing behind them, and next to her was a young man. Liu Ruyan put on a pitiful look and said to the young man, Tiangu, did I lie to you? Hong Yuan is nothing but a scumbag. Hong Yuan recognized this guy, named Long Outyin, who came from a powerful family, no less than Hong Yuan's. Oh my, damn. Hong Yuan instantly realized. Liu Ruyan was trying to make the first move and play the victim. She wanted to label him as a scumbag, so she could break up cleanly, and then seamlessly switch to Long Outyin. Xiao Xiao's face was puffed with anger, and she said angrily, Hong Yuan is not a scumbag at all. Liu Ruyan sneered, still saying he is not a scumbag. You two are already together. Isn't that two-timing? Hong Yuan and I are friends. We have known each other since childhood. Xiao Xiao was not good with words, but she actually wanted to say, if I were with Hong Yuan, we would have been together long ago. You cannot say that about Hong Yuan. Hong Yuan had already seen through Liu Ruyan. He patted Xiao Xiao's head, signaling her not to be angry. Xiao Xiao and I are childhood friends. You cannot call me a scumbag just because I am eating here. Hong Yuan looked at Long Outyin. What is your relationship with Long Outyin? By your logic, are you not a scumbag woman too? Liu Ruyan only wanted to prove that she and Hong Yuan had already broken up and put on this act in front of Long Outyin. But she never expected that the always obedient Hong Yuan would actually talk back. Wasn't he supposed to be easily manipulated by her? Hong Yuan sneered inwardly. This woman had taken all his kindness for granted. It was truly too much. Seeing Liu Ruyan defeated, Long Outyin put his arm around her shoulder and said arrogantly, Hong Yuan, I am not going to waste words with you. She is my girlfriend now. I suggest you get lost. Hong Yuan replied sarcastically, if you put it that way, then we are on the same page. This was a dig at Long Outyin for being a rebound guy, and the men watching understood immediately, showing knowing smiles. I have only known you for a few months. How could I have given myself to you? Liu Ruyan lied. On the first day they became a couple, Liu Ruyan had eagerly demanded that Hong Yuan give her everything. After that night, Hong Yuan looked at the white bedsheet and could not help but ask. Liu Ruyan made excuses. I felt a sudden pain after strenuous exercise. That must have been when it broke. Hong Yuan asked why it was so dark, and Liu Ruyan said it was dye from her clothes. Now looking back, Liu Ruyan's movements were clearly those of an experienced hand, and he had been completely at her mercy. Hong Yuan rolled his eyes. Stop pretending. I know exactly what kind of person you are. Men all care about face, especially with a woman around. Long Outyin took out his phone, acting as if he had real power, and said arrogantly, do you want to die? What are you barking about? Hong Yuan was not intimidated at all. You are going to call people. I will wait right here. Tell your helpers to hurry up. Whoever backs down is a coward. Long Outyin hesitated, and felt that calling for help would make him lose face. So he saved face by saying, I have B-rank talent, and have already broken through to 1-star martial artist. I am afraid I will beat you to death. Liu Ruyan told me. You tested the worst F-rank talent. I do not need help to fight you. I am calling an ambulance for you. You want to fight? Xiao Xiao stood up, trying to stand in front of Hong Yuan. Hong Yuan shook his head and pulled Xiao Xiao protectively behind him. Although Xiao Xiao was a 3-star martial artist and could easily crush Long Outyin, Hong Yuan did not want her to reveal her strength. It had only been 3 days since the talent test, and Xiao Xiao had already reached 3-star martial artist. Anyone with a brain could guess she possessed top-tier talent. Once exposed, she would easily become a target for evil cultivators. Long Outyin looked at Hong Yuan with a face full of disdain. He held his right fist with his left hand, cracking his knuckles, as if warming up. Do you believe that in 3 seconds, I will make you sit over there? Long Outyin pointed at the last row of seats. No. Hong Yuan stood up. After breaking through to 1-star martial artist, he could clearly feel himself getting stronger, with more power and speed, and his body was tougher. There was a ball of hot energy in his dantian, which he could control at will. That was spiritual energy. But Hong Yuan did not know any martial techniques yet, and could not use it for now, at most releasing a small flame. Long Outyin was at the same realm as him, having also tested his talent the day before yesterday, and probably had not had time to learn any martial techniques. So who would win was still unknown. Hong Yuan often watched his father practice boxing, and had picked up some basic moves through osmosis, so his chances of winning were probably higher. You are waiting to die? This will be a one-sided massacre. Long Outyin struck first, with a wind-breaking heavy punch, aimed at Hong Yuan's face. Hong Yuan dodged by turning his head, and stepped forward with his right foot, quickly closing in on Long Outyin. At the same time, he abruptly raised his elbow, and accurately struck Long Aoshin's chin. This move was called Iron Mountain Elbow, combining the Iron Mountain lean and elbow strike. With considerable power, Long Aoshin's chin was hit, and his head snapped backward, as if the world had turned upside down. His vision went black, and he lost consciousness instantly, falling heavily to the ground. Hong Yuan kicked Long Outyin, and got no response. Damn, I hope I did not kill him. Hong Yuan crouched down to check his breathing, and felt warmth at his fingertip, before sighing in relief. He was still breathing, just unconscious. He had thought Long Outyin had some skill, but it turned out he was all show. Truly disappointing. With that level, don't act so tough in the future, or you might get yourself killed. What happened? 2 men in uniform walked over, and looking at the unconscious Long Outyin, asked sternly, who was fighting? Hong Yuan recognized the leading middle-aged man, and called out, Uncle Wang. The security bureau had received a report that someone was fighting at Yujingxiang. Uncle Wang and his apprentice were nearby, and rushed over immediately. Hong Yuan's father was the deputy director of the security bureau, so he naturally knew people there. This Uncle Wang had even eaten at his house. So it is Xiao Yuan. Uncle Wang smiled. What happened here? Hong Yuan pointed at Long Outyin. This is the son of the Long family. He wanted to show off in front of my ex-girlfriend, so he picked a fight with me. We fought each other, and he lost. The Long family's son. Uncle Wang frowned. He is Long Yuanshan's son. Can you handle it? Hong Yuan asked. A bit tricky. Uncle Wang then said. You sure know how to cause trouble. But Director Hong's son will be back soon. I doubt Long Yuantian will dare to bother you. Hong's son was Hong Yuan's father. Although he was only the deputy director, his subordinates were used to calling him Director Hong. Then, I will trouble you, Uncle Wang. When my parents come home, you must come over for dinner. Hong Yuan smiled. Uncle Wang nodded, and said to the young man beside him, Shaoli, take this man to the hospital. As for this woman, Uncle Wang looked at Hong Yuan with a questioning look. She is your ex-girlfriend after all. What do you want to do? Handle it officially or settle it privately? Hong Yuan understood immediately, and said, she started the provocation first. Uncle Wang also understood. Provocation. That means 15 days of detention. In the end, Shaoli took Long Aodi and to the hospital, and Uncle Wang took Liu Ruyan to the station. After that commotion, Hong Yuan had lost his appetite and called the waiter to settle the bill. The waiter said enthusiastically, "My boss said that since someone disturbed your meal, this meal is on the house. Pay as usual." Hong Yuan handed his card to the waiter. Although his father was the deputy director of the security bureau, Hong Yuan had his principles. He would never bully the weak or take things for free. Xiao Xiao had a younger brother named Xiao Xian, a very handsome boy. Hong Yuan also had a younger sister and brother. The second sister Hong Lan and the third brother Hong Hu. They were twins, both in their second year of high school. Hong Lan was reserved like their mother. Hong Hu was hot-tempered like their father. They usually boarded at school, and today being Friday they were all back. When Hong Yuan and Xiao Xiao returned home, the three were doing homework in a harmonious atmosphere. Brought her sister. Hong Hu looked at the two and asked, "Were you two on a date?" Xiao Xiao blushed and said, "We just went out to eat." Hong Hu said to himself, "I do not believe you. You talk too much. Do you want me to hit you?" Hong Yuan rolled up his sleeves, trying to use his seniority to suppress his brother. "No way. I am not allowed to talk." Hong Hu had been suppressed too many times by Hong Yuan and did not dare to act up. "I am teaching you to watch your words." Hong Yuan lectured. "I just met someone. He was like a toad opening its mouth wide, trying to swallow the sky and earth. I thought he was tough, but he almost got sent away by me." Hong Hu was unconvinced and thought to himself, "You are only a year older than me and still wet behind the ears, and you are trying to teach me." The second sister Hong Lan was very close to Xiao Xiao. "Sister Xiao Xiao, what talent did you test?" Xiao Xiao hesitated and did not want to lie to Hong Lan, so she looked at Hong Yuan for help. Hong Yuan took over. "Why don't you ask me what talent I tested?" Hong Lan was forced to ask, "What talent did you get? I will blow your mind." Hong Yuan was not ashamed but proud. "I tested F-rank talent." Hong Lan could not believe it. "Are you joking? It must be true." Hong Yuan said flatly, "Mom and Dad both have good talent. How did they end up with a waste like you?" Hong Hu began to mock, but seeing Hong Yuan's fierce look, he quickly backpedaled. "I did not mean you are a waste. I meant your talent. I am not hitting your butt. I am hitting your face." Hong Yuan stepped forward, ready to discipline Hong Hu. The always silent Xiao Xian spoke up. "Brother Hong Yuan, please let Hong Hu off." "Why should I let him off?" Hong Yuan asked. "Today someone bullied me, and Hong Hu helped me. So I swore that if I see anyone bullying Hong Hu in the future, I will help him too." Xiao Xian replied. Master Huang was kind-hearted and could not bear to see the poor suffer, so he ordered his men to drive the poor out of sight. Xiao Xian was probably kind-hearted too. Hong Yuan said, "Then I will drag Hong Hu outside to hit him, so you cannot see it, and it will. I'll not break your vow." Xiao Xian was speechless, not knowing how to respond. Hong Hu shouted, "Xiao Xian, you are not loyal. You are not loyal." Finally, Xiao Xiao held Hong Yuan's hand and shook her head. "Just let it go." Hong Yuan immediately stopped. He could refuse others, but he had to give face to Xiao Xiao. The group stayed at Hong Yuan's house until midnight, before going back to their own homes. It was late, so Hong Yuan did not cultivate, and went straight to bed. The next morning, Hong Yuan ate breakfast bought by Hong Lan, told the two not to disturb him, and went back to his room to meditate. After 15 hours of meditation, he obtained 3 wisps of spiritual energy, but breaking through to 2-star required 20 wisps. The next day, he meditated again, for another 15 hours, and got 3 more wisps. Time flew by during cultivation, and a week passed in the blink of an eye. During these 7 days Hong Yuan did not leave the house, and trained hard every day. Finally, gathering 20 wisps of spiritual energy, he sat cross-legged on the floor, and began condensing the spiritual energy, quickly completing the breakthrough. The white gas in his dantian, which had been the size of a coin, was now twice as large. Hong Yuan felt full of power, and swung a few punches wildly, as if he could kill a cow. It was Saturday again, and Hong Lan and Hong Hu were both home. After urging the two to study, Hong Yuan knocked on Xiao Xiao's door. "I broke through to 2-star martial artist." "Impressive, right?" Hong Yuan said to Xiao Xiao, who opened the door. Xiao Xiao whispered in his ear, "You are impressive, but I am already 7-star martial artist." "You are impressive too." Hong Yuan was speechless, feeling worse than eating a fly. Xiao Xiao asked, "Do you know when our parents are coming back?" "They have been gone for almost a month." "I am not sure either. They should be back soon." Hong Yuan was uncertain. This time the 4 of them went on a mission together, and the security bureau required confidentiality. Hong Yuan did not ask, and his parents would not tell him either. In the past, missions usually took 3 to 5 days, unless they were difficult, with the longest being over 20 days. This time it was almost a month, so it was probably very challenging. Hong Yuan was not too worried. His father was a 3-star martial king, and few in Jianghuai province could hurt him. Seeing Xiao Xiao's worry, Hong Yuan added, "But do not worry too much. My father is there too." It was just getting dark. Xiao Xiao asked, "Are you hungry? I will treat you to dinner. Xiao Xiao looked at Hong Yuan's house and said, call Hong Lan Hong Hu and my brother. The 5 of us will eat together. Hong Yuan knew Xiao Xiao was thrifty and did not want to refuse directly and hurt her feelings. Restaurant food is too expensive. You can cook a few dishes tomorrow and save some money. Hong Lan can help you. Xiao Xiao said happily. All right. Hong Yuan chatted a bit more and went home to continue meditating. The next day at noon, Xiao Xiao cooked several dishes. But the radish was not trimmed and was too stringy fail. The pork skin was too soft and not chewy fail. The pig blood was too loose and fell apart fail. The worst failure was the intestines not washed clean, with a piece of feces still in them. Xiao Xiao should just focus on cultivation. She was never meant for cooking. But Xiao Xiao did not realize this, and asked expectantly, how does it taste? Hong Yuan had never eaten feces, so he could not say it tasted as bad. But he did not want to dampen her enthusiasm, and lied, setting aside the taste. I think it is all right. Hong Lan Hong Hu and Xiao Xian had very interesting expressions, looking more miserable than if they had eaten feces. April 6th. Breaking through to 3-star required 30 wisps of spiritual energy. Hong Yuan meditated for a few days and obtained 10 wisps. Still, far from 3-star. Xiao Xiao received a phone call. Her talent was too extraordinary, so she was admitted in advance. Xiao Xiao was excited and happy, and immediately told Hong Yuan. School would not start until August in the second half of the year, but it was still April. Xiao Xiao had to attend secret training first, to avoid exposing the training base's location and attracting attacks from evil cultivators. She could not contact the outside world during training. The 9 provinces had 80 million li of mountains and rivers, with hundreds of thousands of countries, and geniuses that were 1 in 10,000. Were not limited to Xiao Xiao alone. These geniuses attending secret training could be protected collectively and cultivated and taught in advance. On the morning of April 7th, a white-haired old man came to Xiao Xiao's house, claiming to have received a secret order to escort Xiao Xiao to the training base. The old man wore coarse cloth and linen clothes, with a thin and withered figure, but his aura was extremely powerful, like a crouching dragon. Even with his aura restrained, Hong Yuan did not dare to breathe. The old man looked at Xiao Xiao and sighed. Little girl, what kind of talent do you have? Xiao Xiao asked. Does senior not know? The old man shook the letter. This is an ultimate secret order, except for a few at the highest level. No one knows your details. I dare not pry, for fear of hearing things I should not. I was enjoying my retirement at home, but the Tianwen realm sent a transfer order. Poor old bones like mine still have to travel thousands of miles to take you to the training base. I am truly pitiful. Xiao Xiao was not safe at home, and Hong Yuan had been worried. Now with the old man protecting her, he could finally rest easy. But Xiao Xiao did not want to leave too early. Can I go to the training base later? She wanted to wait for her parents to come home, and was worried about Xiao Xian, and did know. Do you want to leave Hong Yuan? The old man shook his head. Of course not. Even a second late, and I would be held accountable. Xiao Xian will be taken care of by me. Do not worry. Hong Yuan promised. Although I am usually unreliable, I will keep my word. Hong Hu teased. Brother, with your character, you take care of others. It would be lucky if others do not have to take care of you. You are asking for it. Hong Yuan looked for a sledgehammer to smash Hong Hu's head, but he could not really blame Hong Yuan, because this guy really did not read the room. Hong Yuan clasped his hands to the old man. Senior, how long will it take to get to the training base? The old man thought for a moment. It is not far from here to the assembly point. About 2 million li. I will fly with the little girl, and we can arrive tonight. Good heavens. 2 million li and arriving by night, while carrying someone flying. That is too exaggerated. Is that even human speed? The old man waved his hand Jen. TLY. And Xiao Xiao and her suitcase floated in the air. A flash of white light, and the two disappeared. The space before him was empty, and Hong Yuan felt a complex mix of emotions, both reluctant and helpless. Xiao Xiao was gone. He had no mood to cultivate, and lay in bed playing Genshin Impact all day. He received a voice message from Xiao Xiao at midnight. She had arrived at the assembly point, and was about to begin secret training, and had to hand over her phone. Xiao Xiao finally said, "You must work hard to get into university. I will be waiting for you in Zhongzhou. You must come, or I will be angry, and it will be the kind that can never be made up." Hong Yuan put down his phone, and felt his spirits lift, as he murmured to himself, Hong Yuan, Hong Yuan, how can you be so degenerate? Have you forgotten your great vow to become a martial god? You cannot go on like this. As he said this, he remembered the diary. He had studied it a lot these days, but had never been able to open the second page. The first page of the diary only recorded up to April 7th. It was past midnight, and today was April 8th. Hong Yuan picked up the diary and tried to flip to the second page. This time there was no obstruction, and it opened easily, so the next page is unlocked. Only when the date arrives. Hong Yuan was speechless. This setting was so stupid. Which idiot came up with it? But despite the complaints, he still had to read. He looked at the second page. April 8th, 5025. There is a big news today. Su Kuan had sex with a female fan and got her pregnant. When having casual sex, wear a condom. When filming a secret affair, wear a mask. That is common sense. Su Kuan was a rising star in the entertainment industry, pure and clean, and would never do such a thing. It must be haters jealous of his perfect beauty, deliberately smearing our idol. April 9th, 5025. Second uncle and third uncle came, probably to ask dad for money again. But I do not know where dad is. I could only make awkward small talk with them. Awkward small talk with relatives is truly terrifying. I am already 18, and my second uncle still asks me whether I like my mom or my dad. April 10th, 5025. Drank iced cola and played Genshin Impact. Looking at the diary, Hong Yuan realized he was too useless. Until April 15th. All he did was drink iced cola and play Genshin Impact. April 16th, 5025. Because summer was approaching, the decay of mom and dad's bodies was severe. Uncle Wong told me that mom and dad had been dead for over 10 days, and their bodies were just found yesterday. Uncle Wong told me to take good care of my younger siblings, and that I could come to him if anything happened, and finally told me to accept my loss. Hong Yuan saw these words, as if the world had instantly collapsed, his mind going blank, and all expression leaving his face. He held the diary in a daze, and after more than 10 seconds, his eyes turned red, as tears welled up and streamed down his cheeks. It was a holiday today, and Hong Hu and Hong Lan were both at home. He did not dare to cry out loud, but Hong Yuan could not suppress his sorrow, and could not hold back his tears, so he buried his head in the pillow, sobbing quietly, not daring to cry loudly. He did not know how long passed, until his tears ran dry, and his body had no strength left, lying limp on the bed. Much later, he picked up the diary, to look for clues about his parents' cause of death. April 17th, 5025. Hong Lan noticed my mood was off, but I brushed her off. April 18th, 5025 was not recorded. Skipping to April 19th. I went alone to retrieve mom and dad's ashes and belongings. I still did not dare tell Hong Hu and Hong Lan, and did not know how to break the news. I wish I were mute. April 22nd, 5025. Second uncle and third uncle came again. I could not keep it hidden in the end, and both Hong Hu and Hong Lan found out. The two cried and blamed me for not telling them sooner, but I did not regret it. Knowing later meant crying later, and crying a little less was still a relief. April 23rd, 5025. Second uncle and third uncle brought a will, not only wanting mom and dad's compensation money, but also trying to take our house. They beat me up, and KIC, kid the three of us out. I am a waste. I let my parents down, and did not take good care of my sister and brother. April 25th, 5025. I took a letter, and headed for Jiangnan province. 3,900 li along the way. The road ahead was long, and the future uncertain, but I had no choice. The second page ended here. Hong Yuan silently closed the diary. This night was too long. Hong Yuan recalled his parents' faces, letting his thoughts drift, and letting tears flow silently. Everything before him blurred. Only the pain in his heart was unbearably real. The next morning, Hong Lan knocked on the door and called out, "Brother, come eat." Coming. A hoarse voice came from the room, and Hong Yuan did not open the door until 5 minutes later. "Why is your voice so hoarse?" Hong Lan asked. "Probably from getting overheated." Hong Yuan brushed it off, and taking the buns Hong Lan had bought, said, "I am going out for a bit. Are you alright?" Hong Lan looked at Hong Yuan Kui. TLY. Her older brother was usually cheerful, but today he was silent, and his spirits seemed low. "I am fine." Hong Yuan opened his mouth, but still did not say it. He could not just say that the diary recorded that mom and dad had already been dead for several days. "You are definitely not fine," Hong Lan said seriously. Having grown up together, she knew each other's temperament well. "I broke up with my girlfriend," Hong Yuan said with a bitter face, using that excuse to brush her off. "I see." Hong Lan sighed. Liu Ruyan was not a good woman anyway. All she did was spend your money. Breaking up is a good thing. Hong Yuan gave a faint and then left home alone, riding to the security bureau. Today was April 8th. In the diary, the bodies were found on April 16th, and they had been dead for over 10 days by then. That meant in early April, the two had already died. 30 minutes later, Hong Yuan arrived at the security bureau and saw a middle-aged man. He jogged over and called, "Oh, UT Uncle Wong. Xiao Yuan, why are you here?" Hong Yuan had already thought of an excuse. "My parents have been on a mission for a month. My sister and brother are very worried, and asked me to come check on the situation." Uncle Wong patted Hong Yuan's shoulder and smiled. "Don't worry. Director Hong Sen's strength will not have any problems. But it has already been a month, and their phones can't be reached. I am afraid they are in danger." Maybe they are in deep mountains with no signal, so they can't be reached. Uncle Wang added, I will take you to the director. His satellite phone can reach Director Hong Sun. The security bureau director was named Wang Defa, whose strength was not great, much weaker than Hong Sun. By Hong Sun's achievements and strength, he could have been the director long ago, but unfortunately Wang Defa had connections. So Hong Sun had been sitting in the deputy director position for more than 10 years. Wang Defa was not only weak, but also petty and Laos, constantly suppressing Hong Sun in work. Hong Yuan was reluctant in his heart, but since he needed to ask for a favor, when he saw Wang Defa, he still swallowed his disgust and called out Uncle Wang. Wang Defa sat at his desk and looked up slightly, glancing at Hong Yuan from the corner of his eye. Why are you here? My parents are on a mission, and it has been over a month. I am afraid they are in danger. Hong Yuan pleaded. Can you help me? Send a few people to look for them, or try to contact them. The security bureau has a tight schedule and heavy tasks, and we are already short-staffed. We do not have extra manpower to help you find your parents. Wang Defa paused, took a sip of tea, and then said slowly, but for Hong Sen's sake, I will make a call with the satellite phone. Hong Yuan thanked him profusely. Thank you, Uncle Wang. Wang Defa said he would make the call, but instead looked at the documents in his hand, deliberately making Hong Yuan wait. A few minutes. Later he finished reading one document, signed it, and put it aside, then picked up another document, reading it while drinking tea, seemingly unaware of Hong Yuan. Hong Yuan suppressed his indignation and gave a light cough, but Wang Defa acted as if he were deaf and ignored him. Mom and Dad's bodies were lying exposed in the wilderness, wind-blown, sun-scorched, and eaten by insects and birds. As the eldest son, until he found his parents' bodies, until they were laid to rest, he could not rest easy. Wang Defa continued reviewing several documents for a full hour before pretending to notice Hong Yuan. Why are you still here? Hong Yuan kept a smiling face. I am waiting for you to make the satellite call. Oh my memory. Wang Defa patted his head. I have been so busy with work that I forgot. Do you have time to make the satellite call now? Hong Yuan begged. I will make it now. Wang Defa lowered his head to look for the satellite phone, and the smile on his face instantly vanished. He could not be bothered to make the call, and deliberately ignored Hong Yuan to force him to leave on his own. He never expected Hong Yuan to stay so stubbornly and be so clueless. Like father, like son. This kid was as stubborn as Hong's son. Wang Defa reluctantly took out the satellite phone and dialed the number, but no one answered. What is going on? Wang Defa looked displeased. He is not even answering my call. He dialed again, but still no one answered, and frowned slightly. He dialed a third time, and still no one answered. Wang Defa put down the satellite phone and realized something was wrong. Although he usually disliked Hong Sun, Hong Sun was a 3-star martial king and a top-tier combat power in Jianghuai province, and he did not want anything to happen to him either. Go home and wait for news. I will look up the files to find out where your father went on his mission, and then send people to search. Uncle Wang, how long will it take to find them? Each satellite phone has coordinates. I will have the technicians analyze the coordinates of your father's phone, and we should find them soon. How long exactly? At most 3 days. Go home and wait. If there is news, I will have someone contact you. Only then did Hong Yuan stand up and added before leaving, Thank you, Uncle Wang. After returning home, Hong Yuan locked himself in his room, trying to meditate, but he could not calm down at all, with his mind full of his parents' smiling faces. The doorbell rang, and Hong Yuan went to open the door and found 2 middle-aged men at the entrance. His second uncle carried a carton of milk and asked, Where is your father? What do you want? Hong Yuan did not look pleased. The third uncle had a simple and honest face and said with a smile, We came to see your father. Both were 8-star martial masters with some strength, but had no proper job and were idle all day, gambling or visiting prostitutes. Alt-Hog. Hong's son had a hot temper. He was very easygoing with them and had even arranged for them to join the security bureau, but they quit after 2 days because it was too tiring. Whenever they were short of money, they would ask Hong's son for it. His mother had complained many times, but they remained shamelessly persistent. Over the years, they had probably borrowed millions. If it were not for his father's high salary and solid family foundation, they would have gone bankrupt. Seeing Hong Yuan's cold face, they did not embarrass themselves further. We will go now. Have your father call us back when he returns. These two not only wanted the compensation money, but also wanted to take over their house. If Xiao Xiao's parents had not been in trouble, they would never have let these two push them around like this. As for his father's colleagues at the security bureau, when the tree falls the monkeys scatter. Once his father died, because of Wang Defa, probably no one would be willing to help. His grandparents on both sides had already passed away, and his mother was an only child, so neither relatives nor his father's colleagues could be counted on. He could only rely on himself, but he was only a 2-star martial artist. and had to take care of his younger siblings. What else could he do, other than be at the mercy of others? The security bureau acted quickly. After Hong Yuan received the call, he rushed to the morgue immediately. There were many people in the morgue, all security bureau staff, and Uncle Wong was there too. Today was April 10th, 6 days earlier than the diary had predicted, so the bodies were only slightly decomposed. Uncle Wong handed a paper to Hong Yuan. This is your parents' autopsy report. They died in early April. According to the forensic preliminary conclusion, your parents were probably killed by evil cultivators. At least evil cultivators at the martial ancestor realm. How could there be an evil cultivator at the martial ancestor realm? In a small place like Jianghuai province. We do not know either. Evil cultivators have no fixed abode, and can appear anywhere. Hong Yuan looked at the autopsy report. The deceased had a penetrated chest, with no other wounds. Clearly a one-hit kill. The wound showed irregular penetration marks, consistent with being punched through the chest, and the heart being removed. A large amount of black matter remained inside the body, resembling ash. The perpetrator was skilled in fist and palm techniques, with strength at least at the martial ancestor realm, with black matter on their hands. Uncle Wong added, Xiao Jian and Lu Hong are still missing, and may have also met with an accident. Our people are still searching, but the chances of finding them are low. Xiao Jian and Lu Hong were Xiao Xiao's parents. They did not have satellite phone positioning, making them difficult to find, but they might still be alive. Xiao Xiao was in secret training elsewhere, and only Xiao Xian was at home. Since Hong Yuan had promised to take care of Xiao Xian, he did not want to break his word. Moreover, without finding the bodies, they could ONL. Why be considered missing? And there was still a glimmer of hope. If they really cannot be found, then we will talk. For now, do not tell Uncle Xiao's family. The bureau shares that thought. I am just informing you in advance. Hong Yuan put away the autopsy report and bowed to everyone. Thank you all uncles and aunties for taking time out of your busy schedules to see my parents one last time. Several sighs sounded in the morgue. Take good care of your siblings. Come to me if you need anything. Accept my condolences. Uncle Wong patted Hong Yuan's shoulder. We are leaving now. We still have work to do. I will stay here with my parents for a while. Hong Yuan forced a smile. The people in the morgue soon all left. When he first saw the bodies, Hong Yuan did not cry. But now that he was alone, the tears could not help but fall. Hong Yuan went alone to retrieve 2 urns of ashes. And the belongings. The belongings were only a phone and some odds and ends from the office. Hong Yuan put the ashes away and shared the same thought as the diary, not telling Hong Lan and Hong Hu for now, because there were too many things to come, and his second and third uncles would still come, and the 3 siblings would be kicked out. The diary recorded that the 2 would come again on April 22nd. Today was April 12th, so he had 10 days, but he had found his parents' bodies early, so the 2 might come early too. The top priority was to stop them from taking the inheritance, and then tell his younger siblings afterwards. There was also the killer of his parents, an evil cultivator at the martial ancestor realm. This revenge must be taken. Hong Yuan kept the autopsy report as the only clue. Hong Yuan picked up the phone from the belongings. This was Hong Sen's phone, with traces of blood still on it. The lock screen password was his mother's birthday. He first checked the call log and found no clues. The messages were the same. Finally, he opened the photo album, where there was a video, filmed on April 1st, 3 minutes long. Hong Yuan held his breath and immediately played the video. The screen showed a middle-aged man with a square face. He was covered in blood, with a pale face, clearly on the verge of death. My dear son, your father is about to die. Hearing this, Hong Yuan broke down instantly, and a voice came from the screen. Don't cry. Listen to me. I do not have much time. Originally, you had a fiancé, but your mother did not want you to be tied down, and wanted you to have free love. So when you were very young, she asked me to break off the engagement for you. Later you really did get together with Liu Ruyan. It is a good thing we broke it off for you. Otherwise it would have been hard to explain. Your fiancé is the granddaughter of my old superior. After your mother and I got married, we went to visit him. Your mother was pregnant at the time, and his daughter was also pregnant. So they made another arrange. Marriage. My old superior was very fond of me, and considered me half a son. He originally wanted to marry his daughter to me. But since your mother and I were together, I declined his kindness. The old man held no grudge, and still arranged the marriage for you. But when I went to cancel it, he was clearly very angry, and I lost contact with him, and felt too ashamed to visit again. My 2 brothers are greedy, but there is nothing I can do, since I am their older brother. While I am alive, I can deter them, but after I die, they will probably have bad intentions. Your grandparents are gone, and no one can help you. If you run into an unsolvable problem, go and see the old superior. I think he would be willing to help. There is a shoe box under my bed, with a letter inside, that I wrote to the old superior, but never had the face to send. When you go to see him, take that letter, If my two brothers turn out as I suspected, and the old superior is willing to help, I hope you will spare their lives. Although you are usually unreliable, I know you are wise inside. You have more principles than I do. We leave our affairs in your hands. Knowing his end was near, the middle-aged man smiled instead. I thought I would live much longer, but I capsized this time. You are the eldest brother, so take good care of your siblings. Your mother and I will go first. The middle-aged man exhausted his strength and murmured, I know that in the future, you will become a very remarkable person. Hong Yuan stared at the letter and could not help but laugh bitterly. You broke off the engagement with his daughter, and then broke off the engagement with his granddaughter, and finally want to ask for his help. Are you treating him like a clay bodhisattva? But his father made it clear that Su Tianbao regarded him as half a son, and their relationship was special, so there might still be a chance. Besides, Hong Yuan had no other way. No matter how small the hope he had to try, he could not let Hong Lan and Hong Hu end up on the streets with him. Hong Yuan took out the letter from the shoebox, with the address written on it. Dai Mansion, Wu District, Jinling City, Jiangnan Province. Recipient Su Tianbao. That should be the old superior, whom Hong's son had known during his frontier days. Hong Yuan stuffed the diary and the letter into his backpack, and packed 2 sets of clothes. He checked the plane tickets first, but they were too expensive. He had already spent all his living expenses, and only had enough for the high-speed train. The early morning tickets were sold out, and the next available train was the next morning. He quickly booked a ticket, and then completely gave in, falling asleep for the first time in days. Before dawn, sudden banging on the door erupted. Bang, bang, bang. Hong Yuan was startled awake, and quickly got up to check. The door had already been forced open. His second uncle and third uncle had home with their wives, and barged straight in. The third uncle spoke first. Hong Yuan, you still want to hide it from us? My eldest brother is dead, and you did not even notify us. Hong Yuan's mind went blank. Why was it earlier? In the diary, these two did not come until a week later. Could it be that finding the bodies early caused everything that followed to happen early? The second aunt spoke like a machine gun. This brat wants to keep all the compensation money, and the house my eldest brother promised us. Otherwise, why would he keep the death a secret? You may not tell, but others will. Hong Yuan said coldly. I do not know what you are talking about. The third aunt sneered, still trying to play dumb. We have your father's will, and the house is for us. The second aunt added, when your parents' compensation money comes, our 2 families will take 2/3. Your father agreed to all this. Hong Yuan had been prepared, but when it actually came, he was still so angry. His eyes blazed. His parents' bodies were barely cold, and these 2 ungrateful wretches were already at the door for the house. His father had treated them well in life, but they could not wait a single moment. Hong Yuan shouted, my father never said he would give you the house, and you will not get a cent of the compensation money. The third uncle pulled out a piece of paper. That is not up to you. We have your father's will. Hong Yuan gritted his teeth. Forging a will is illegal. Are you not afraid I will go to the security bureau? The second uncle smiled sinisterly. Xiao Yuan, I know you are anxious, but do not rush. The handwriting on this will was copied from your father's documents. Hong Sen's documents were all at the security bureau, so the second uncle was basically saying that someone in the security bureau was helping them, and that someone could only be Wang Defa. Hong Yuan asked angrily, what benefits did Wang Defa give you, that you would help outsiders harm me? The second aunt had no shame. He did not give us benefits, and he is taking half of the compensation, but the rest is still enough for us to share the house. Shut up. The second uncle glared at her. What belongs to my eldest brother belongs to me. A brother's inheritance passes to the younger brother. I have the right to inherit. The third uncle pretended to be reasonable. We are not asking for much. We take 2/3 of the compensation, and the house was promised by eldest brother. The third aunt chimed in. When your grandparents died, your father inherited most of the estate, and we did not complain. The second aunt nodded. The compensation and the house were always meant to be ours. Hong Yuan trembled with anger. Do you have any shame? Throughout their grandparents' lives and after their deaths, everything was handled by his parents. The medical treatment and burial were all paid for by his parents. Those 2 did not contribute a single cent. The old people saw this, and left more for his parents. At that time, Hong Lan and Hong, who had just been born, and he himself was only 1. The old people were afraid his parents would suffer too much. But to these 4 mouths, it turned into his parents taking advantage. His father had always felt guilty about getting more inheritance, and never refused when his second and third uncles asked for money. Over the years, the money they had asked for had already exceeded the inheritance several times over. Hong Yuan pointed at them. Is the money you asked from my father not enough? The third uncle was brazen. We never asked for anything. You need evidence for your words. Hong's son had always given cash to prevent his mother from finding out. Now with no proof, The four took turns arguing. Hong Yuan could not get a word in, and could only shout, "My parents just died, and you are already bullying me, an orphan." He stared hard at his second and third uncles. "Do you dare to swear that you never took a single cent from my father?" The third uncle was guilty. "Why should we swear to something we never did?" The second uncle was impatient. Why waste words with him? And grabbed Hong Yuan by the neck. His strength of an 8-star martial master was something Hong Yuan could not break free from. His throat tightened, and breathing became difficult. His backpack fell to the ground during the struggle. The second uncle dragged him to the door. Hong Yuan threw a punch at his uncle. "You little brat, dare to hit your elder," turning the world upside down. The second uncle swung his fist and landed 2 heavy blows to his face. Hong Yuan saw black and passed out on the spot. The second uncle threw the unconscious Hong Yuan out the door, cursing him as a worthless bone, and was about to close the door. The third uncle saw the backpack on the ground and kicked it to the door. Why keep this unlucky thing? On the high-speed train to Jiangnan province, a young boy sat alone by the window, drawing the attention of many passengers. He was indeed handsome, but they were staring at his disheveled state. His clothes were messy, as if he had just been in a scuffle, bandages wrapped around his head, with a few strands of hair plastered to his forehead, and blood seeping through the bandages. Clearly fresh wounds. Bruises covered the area under his left eye and the corner of his mouth. His face looked tired, and his eyes held suppressed grievance. It was Hong Yuan. After his second uncle threw him out, his head hit the ground, and the wounds on his face were from his uncle's blows. Today was Tuesday, and on Friday his younger siblings would be on holiday. Hong Yuan had only 3.5 days. He had to resolve this matter before the two came back. If Su Tianbao refused to help, Hong, who with his hot temper, would definitely not let it go. Hong Lan was sensible, but after all she was a girl, and might not be able to bear such a blow. Hong Yuan dared not think further, and could only let out a sigh. If he had his father's realm, his siblings would not have to suffer like this. He sat cross-legged, and had been cultivating intermittently these YS. Just after being beaten again, he had accumulated 27 wisps of spiritual energy, needing 3 more wisps to break through to 3-star. He had to seize the time. From Zhanghuai to Jinling, 3,900 li, took 16 hours by high-speed train. With his rate of 1 wisp every 5 hours, he would just make it. At 5 the next morning, Hong Yuan broke through to 3-star martial artist. He opened his eyes and exhaled a breath of turbid air. He looked at the train schedule. The next stop was Jinling. In 28 minutes, he took the letter from his backpack to check Su Tianbao's exact address, and the diary fell out as well. Hong Yuan bent down to pick it up and found the diary had flipped itself to the 3rd page. Today was April 11th. The 2nd page only went to April 25th. Based on previous speculation, he would have to wait until the 25th to turn the page. Why could he turn it now? He remembered the last line of the second that he was taking the letter to Jiangnan. Now he was on the high-speed train to Jiangnan. Could completing the content in the diary unlock the next page early? So page turning had 2 conditions. First, the date had arrived, and second, the event was done early. If that was the case, he had a lot of room to maneuver. Hong Yuan looked down at the 3rd page. April 25th. I took a taxi at the high-speed rail station, and the driver took me to Dai Mansion. The driver was very talkative, and did a one-man stand-up routine, covering astronomy, geography, poetry, and literature, from national affairs to lives ideals, even knowing how to care for a sow after childbirth. I was fascinated, and did not arrive at Dai Mansion until dark, with a fare of 1,500 yuan. Hong Yuan was embarrassed. Everyone knew taxi drivers could talk, but this one could chat for hours, which was absurd. He checked the map, and found it was only about 80 li from the station to Dai Man's. Ion. Damn it. The driver had taken him on a detour. Simply despicable. But then again, 1,500 yuan for a few hours of stand-up seemed not a bad deal. Hong Yuan could only console himself that way. April 25th. I arrived too late yesterday, so I did not go in. I came to Dai Mansion early this morning, and told the guard my name. The guard said I could not enter without an appointment. I mentioned my father's name again, but the guard did not recognize it either. April 27th. I asked the guard to pass word to Su Tianbao, but the guard ignored me, probably thinking I was too low level, and not an important figure. I waited at Dai Mansion for 3 days, without even a glimpse of Su Tianbao. April 28th. Hong Lan called, crying and asking when I was coming home. I could not wait any longer, and planned to climb over the wall into Dai Mansion tonight, no matter what, to see Su Tianbao. April 29th. As soon as I climbed over, I was caught by patrol security guards. 2 guards beat me up and threw me out of Dai Mansion. May 1st. My injuries had healed a little, but still hurt. I went to Dai Mansion again, but the guards and security all recognized me and kept watching me, so I had no chance to get in again. After that until May 6th. The diary was all records of waiting at the gate. May 7th. I heard from a restaurant owner. That Dai Mansion's main gate was rarely opened, only for distinguished guests. And Dai Mansion had an underground garage, and the Su family usually went in and out by car from below. May 8th. Dai Mansion had 2 garage entrances, the south for entry and the north for exit. I waited at the south entrance, and soon a sports car arrived. I rushed up and stopped in front of the car, shouting, "My father is Hong's son. I want to see the old superior Su Tianbao." A young girl with a high ponytail got out of the car. She glanced at me lightly and told me to get in. May 9th. I finally saw Su Tianbao. I handed him the letter and told him about my experiences these days. Finally, I said, "For the sake of my father, please help me." Su Tianbao turned his back to me. "My grudge with Hong's son is over. We have no more ties. I have no reason to help you." I left Dai Mansion in despair. May 9th. I took the high-speed train home, and that high ponytail girl suddenly sat down next to me. I asked what she wanted. She did not speak. Could Su Tianbao have had a change of heart and sent her privately to help me? But she was about my age. What could she do for me? Hong Yuan finished reading the last page and suddenly had an idea. If he met the high ponytail girl early, then saw Su Tianbao, and finally took the high-speed train back, would he be able to open the 4th page early? If his guess was correct, as long as he completed the diary content early, he could turn the page. He closed the diary and planned his itinerary in his mind. First, take a ride-hailing car to Dai Mansion. Definitely not a taxi, to avoid being ripped off and wasting time. Go directly to the south garage entrance to wait, which would save a lot of time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are arriving at Jinling Station. Passengers getting off, please prepare in advance. Hong Yuan stopped thinking, put the diary and letter into his backpack, and stood up and walked to the train door. The train stopped. He walked out of the carriage. To save time, he walked toward the exit, while calling for a ride-hailing car. Ride-hailing cars have platform plan routes, so the driver would not take detours. He gave the last 4 digits of his phone number, and the driver started the car toward Dai Mansion. Jiangnan Province was much more prosperous than Jianghuai Province. With heavy traffic on the roads, the driver was a middle-aged man, with many pockmarks on his face, and drove slowly, cursing under his breath. Old drivers all curse while driving. Cursing while driving is what makes them old drivers. A car in front cut him off maliciously, and the driver completely exploded, constantly flashing his lights and honking, and even stuck his head out to yell, "I will curse your grave." Hong Yuan sat in the car trembling, not daring to say a word. Although there was some traffic, the driver was skilled, and they arrived at Dai Mansion's south garage in over an hour. It was 8 in the morning. Afraid of attracting the guard's attention, Hong Yuan found a spot where no one would notice, and waited quietly. He waited until night, as dozens of cars came and went, but he never saw the high ponytail girl. He did not know what would happen if he stopped another car, and did not dare to take the risk. So the first day passed like that. He only had 1,000 yuan left, and still needed to buy a train ticket. He found a cheap hotel, 50 yuan a night. The next day, Hong Yuan took buns and soy milk, and arrived at the south garage early, waiting until evening. A red sports car approached from the distance. Slowing down to turn, Hong Yuan quickly stood up, and looked into the car. The sunlight made it hard to see clearly. As it got closer, he gradually saw the driver was a woman, with a straight nose, delicate eyebrows, and a clean oval face, with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes, showing a heroic and proud bearing. But Hong Yuan was not here to look at a beauty. He looked at the woman's hair, a high braid, a ponytail. Hong Yuan perked up. The sports car was already in front of him, and without time to think, he threw himself in front of the car. The woman was stunned, and a thought crossed her mind. A scammer. She got out of the car, dressed in white like a snow goddess. Seeing Hong Yuan with a bruised face and bandages on his head, she was even more certain it was a scam. "You are young and able-bodied. Why are you doing this kind of thing? Why not find a proper job to support yourself?" She scolded him. "Luckily I braked quickly, otherwise I might have hit you. You may not fear death, but I fear the trouble." Hong Yuan knew she had misunderstood, and his actions did indeed look like a scam. "Sorry, I am here to see Su Tianbao. I am not a scammer. You can go to the front gate to see him. Why block my car?" The woman frowned, her tone softening slightly. "The front gate would not let me in." Although he had never been to the front gate, the diary said so. "Without an appointment, there is nothing I can do. Many people in the Great Xia Kingdom want to see Su Tianbao. If he saw everyone, he would not even have time to eat." Hong Yuan rubbed his bruised knee. "I know, but I really have something important. Can you help me pass word to him?" The woman turned to get back in the car. "I have no time for nonsense. If you keep pestering me, I will call security." Hong Yuan had no choice, and had to say, "My father is Hong's son. He sent me to Dai Mansion to find Su Tianbao." The woman paused, and turned to look at him. "You are Hong Sen's son. My name is Hong Yuan. My father is Hong's son. Here is a letter he wrote to Su Tianbao. Hong Yuan took the letter out of his backpack and showed it to the woman. Come with me. The woman hesitated slightly and gestured for him to get in. Hong Yuan breathed a sigh of relief and got into the sports car. The method in the diary really worked. Thank you, sister. He then asked, what is your name? You do not need to know. The woman countered. Why did your father send you here? Hong Yuan told the truth. My father died not long ago. Actually, it was me who came to see Su Tianbao. The woman paused while driving and stepped on the brake and looked at Hong Yuan in silence. Hong Yuan quickly said, this is the letter my father wrote to Su Tianbao. I am not lying. Do not throw me out. The woman shook her head. I am not worried about whether you are lying. I am just shocked that your father passed away. Hong Yuan followed the woman out of the underground garage and saw a huge estate before him. Red walls, black tiles, carved wooden windows, green stone paths, bamboo groves and flowers, and the clear sound of water flowing over a small bridge in the distance. The woman led Hong Yuan to a pavilion. Stay here, do not move. Hong Yuan nodded. A big shot like Su Tianbao was very busy, and the woman probably went to ask when he could see him. Thank you very much. Hong Yuan clasped his hands. If I have the chance, I will repay you. With your 3-star martial artist strength. You want to repay me? The woman laughed. Do not overestimate yourself. I may not have the strength now, but I will remember this favor. Can you tell me your name? Su Firen. The woman said and left the pavilion swinging her ponytail. Hong Yuan had bandages on his head, and his bruises had faded slightly, drawing a lot of attention. Who is that? I do not know. He looks a bit rough, but there is some handsomeness in his brows. He looks young. What is he doing at Day Mansion? He must have been brought in by someone. The estate security is very tough, and they caught a few thieves recently, who were reportedly beaten badly. Hong Yuan waited half an hour, and Su Firen returned and waved. Come with me. Su Firen led him to the study and said respectfully, I have brought him. There was an old man in the study with his back to Hong Yuan, tall and sturdy, with white hair. Hong Yuan did not speak, and knelt down directly, banging his head 3 times on the ground. Hong's son had said that Su Tianbao counted as half a father to him, and thus half a grandfather to Hong Yuan. Even if the old man did not acknowledge it, these 3 kowtows had to be made. Back then their family had wronged Su Tianbao, and twice rejected his goodwill. These 3 kowtows were also an apology. Su Tianbao kept his back to Hong Yuan, and asked calmly, when did Hong's son die? Hong Yuan stood up and replied, it has been about half a month. How did he die? Su Tianbao's tone was calm. He was killed by evil cultivators on a mission. Hong Yuan's tone wavered slightly. Su Tianbao was silent for a moment. You came to me to ask me to avenge Hong's son. Hong Yuan shook his head and said firmly, thank you for your concern, but I want to personally kill the enemy. 3-star martial artist. Su Tianbao snorted. With that realm, when will you ever get revenge? Thank you for your kindness. Hong Yuan found the courage to refuse again. A father's murder is an irreconcilable enmity. If I do not avenge him with my own hands, I will never find peace in this life. Su Tianbao laughed. Your stubbornness is very much like Hong's son. You have some backbone, and did not disgrace your father. This is the letter my father wrote to you. He asked me to deliver it before he died. Hong Yuan handed the letter to Su Firen. Su Firen took it, walked to the old man, and handed it over, then stepped back beside Hong Yuan. Su Tianbao took the letter, with his back to everyone, and his hands trembled slightly as he opened it. Hong Yuan had not dared to open the letter privately, and no one knew what was inside. A long time passed. Su Tianbao had long finished reading, and remained silent. After a long silence, Su Tianbao spoke. Since it is not to avenge your father, why did you come to me? Hong Yuan said concisely. After my father died, my 2 uncles took over the house, and also wanted the compensation money. I was kicked out, and my siblings will also be homeless. I only ask you to help me get justice. Su Tianbao fell silent again, and then said, you should know some things, right? Hong Yuan nodded. Su Tianbao slowly said, I arranged the marriage for you, and Hong's son did not refuse at the time, so I took it as his agreement. When you were about 3 or 4 years old, he suddenly came to me, saying he did not want to bind you, and wanted to reject my goodwill again. Once was enough, but twice in a row. What did he mean? What did he take my Su family women for? To take when he wanted, and discard when he did not. I firmly refused the second cancellation, and we argued. He as stubborn as an ox. In short, he insisted on breaking the engagement, and said he was only informing me, not asking for permission, and then he left. I was furious at the time, and said to him, if you dare to step out of this door, our relationship is over, and we will have no further contact. But he did not look back. Although he could not see his expression, Hong Yuan could feel he was still very angry. When Hong's son walked out of Day Mansion's front gate, my grudge with him was settled, and we would have no more ties. Su Tianbao still did not turn around, and said coldly, "So I have no reason to help you. Please leave." Hong Yuan did not leave, but said, "I only learned about your relationship with my father a few days ago. He must have felt guilty, because he never mentioned you to me. No matter what happened back then, it was definitely my father's fault. I cannot defend him, and I cannot find any excuse. After so many years, you still speak of it with anger. Only duh. EP affection can bring such deep resentment. I can feel your expectations for him. He wrote this letter long ago. Every year, on October 22nd, he would leave home for a few days. I used to think it was for work, but I just learned that is your birthday. My father died without ever sending this letter. He was not as free and easy as you said. I actually think he was very cowardly." Finally, Hong Yuan said, "My father came to Dai Mansion many times before, but never dared to step through the front gate. Since you think the grudge is settled, why not look forward and take that step for him?" Su Tianbao was silent for a long time, and finally said, "Please leave." Hong Yuan walked out of the study in despair, never expecting the outcome to be exactly like the diary. He had said all the good things, and even kowtowed, but Su Tianbao still did not agree. It was impossible not to feel bad. Hong Lan and Hong, who would be home tomorrow, and the high-speed train back took 16 hours. He had no time to stay, and had to get back as soon as possible. Otherwise Hong, who with his hot temper, would most likely be beaten by his second uncle, and Hong Lan would be at a loss. It was already evening, and it would take time to get to the station. He checked the train times, and could only book a ticket for midnight, the earliest one he could catch. The third page of the diary said that Su Firen would suddenly appear beside him. Hong Yuan still held onto a sliver of hope. But even if Su Firen sat next to him, what good would it do? What if she was not there to help, but just happened to be traveling? Hong Yuan looked lost, and his mood grew worse. Su Firen was young, and her realm was probably not high. His two uncles were both 8-star martial masters. Even if she were a peerless genius, she would definitely not be able to beat them. "I am a waste." Hong Yuan sighed, and could not help but wallow in self-pity. "I cannot protect my siblings. I cannot keep the house, and no one will help me. I achieve nothing. What else am I if not a waste?" Just as he was about to walk out the gate, a voice came from behind. "You are Hong Yuan, the one whose father broke off the engagement." Hong Yuan had been lost in thought. "Hey." And he only then noticed a girl chasing after him. He stopped and turned around. "You are," the girl said rudely. "Why should I tell you who I am? I will not say my name. Why should I tell you?" Looking at Hong Yuan with bruises and bandages, the girl said harshly, "You look simply unbearable. Good thing the engagement was broken. Otherwise it would be like a flower on a cow dung pile." Hearing such blatant mockery, Hong Yuan had already guessed that this girl was probably the one whose engagement was broken. "My good father, look what you have done." Hong Yuan felt truly helpless. He was exhausted, and had no strength to argue, and let the girl taunt him, without saying a word, biting the hand that feeds you. "My grandfather valued your father, and arranged the marriage for your family. But your father repeatedly." "Wanwan, stop it." Su Firen's voice came from behind. "But sister." Su Wanwan was furious. "I told you to stop." Su Firen shook her head and repeated. Su Wanwan had to "Hut up," and glared at Hong Yuan, before running off in anger. "My little sister is spoiled. Do not mind her." Su Firen clasped her hands in apology. Hong Yuan tried to find humor in his misery. "She did not come at me with a knife, so I am already thankful." Su Firen smiled back. "What are you going to do next?" Hong Yuan said. "My parents are dead. My uncles have taken the house, and I have not told my siblings yet. Tomorrow is Friday, and school is out. I have to go home immediately. Otherwise, if the two see my uncles, it will be impossible to hide it." "Why do you not tell them?" Su Firen did not understand. The death of parents is a big deal, and it will have to be said sooner or later. No other reason. I just dare not speak. Hong Yuan's tone was complicated. "At least deal with my uncles first, and then tell them." Su Firen did not understand, but respected it. She clasped her hands and said, "My grandfather asked me to accompany you to Jianghuai province." Hong Yuan was stunned. "Ned, didn't he refuse?" Su Firen smiled. The old man could not save face. He has always been soft-hearted despite his tough words. "You are coming with me to Jianghuai. How old are you?" "I am 5 months older than you. I tested my talent last year, so I have been cultivating a few months longer than you." A family like Dai Mansion has equipment for testing talent at home. Su Firen tested her talent on her 18th birthday, and then began cultivating, while ordinary people had to wait for the appointed time. Hong Yuan's birth date was January 6, 5007. Su Firen was 5 months older, born around August 5006. Su Firen tested last August, and it was now April, so she had been cultivating for 10 months at most. Hong Yuan reminded, "My two uncles are both 8-star martial masters. What can you do? Although I am only a 6-star martial master, dealing with your two uncles is more than enough. If you get beaten and cry, do not blame me." Hong Yuan joked self-deprecating. "Jiawai, They do not hold back. I am always the one who makes others cry. Su Firen joked back. Watch me smash their heads. When they first met, Su Firen had a very poor impression of Hong Yuan, thinking he was a loitering scammer. But from the conversation between her grandfather and Hong Yuan, she had changed her mind greatly. The two uncles had taken over the family property. Hong Yuan first thought of dealing with them, and then telling his younger siblings. He faced the danger alone. How could that not be considered responsible? His parents had not been dead long, and Hong Yuan was even younger than me. Yet he could take charge of family affairs, and come alone to Dai Mansion to ask for help, showing that he could handle things. Grandfather asked first whether to help avenge Hong's son. Hong Yuan refused. A parent's blood feud must be avenged personally, which showed great backbone. Many people trembled before grandfather, and could not speak clearly. Facing Grandfaith, R.'s aggressive questioning, Hong Yuan still spoke clearly, and said what he wanted to express. His courage was also good. He was stubborn, but stubborn people usually have persistence, and can stay true to themselves. Even though he came to ask for help, Hong Yuan did not grovel or compromise. He had principles, responsibility, backbone, courage, and the ability to handle things. This greatly changed Su Firen's impression of him. Su Firen could see some of his father's shadow in Hong Yuan. No wonder grandfather valued Hong's son so much, even arranging marriages twice. Such a man was indeed worthy of trust. Grandfather's judgment had always been sound. Late at night, the night sky was low. A crescent moon hung high, with stars scattered among it. On the high-speed train heading to Jianghuai province, many passengers had fallen asleep. Only a few were still awake. Hong Yuan and Su Firen sat facing each other, both silent, and the atmosphere was a little heavy. Finally Han Ji Yuan broke the silence. He cleared his throat, and then asked, was my father and the old master close? The two could be said to be both teacher and student, father and son, and friends. Su Firen answered, then corrected, I heard from the elders that although your father was my grandfather's adopted son, they were closer than biological father and son. Hong Yuan had never heard Hong Sen say that, and asked again, why did the old master adopt my father as his adopted son? Su Firen shook her head. I do not know the details of their relationship. I only overheard the elders chatting. My grandfather was once in a deep crisis, and all his subordinates were afraid and watched. Only your father stepped forward without hesitation, and rushed to the front to save him. Your father almost died at that time. Su Firen then asked, I heard your father had good talent. What realm did he reach before he died? 3-star Martial King. Hong Yuan said with pride. This was a very high realm, and top tier in Jianghuai province. 3-star Martial King was considered a top expert in Jianghuai, but only average in Jiangnan. Many elders in our Dai Mansion had realms higher than your father. Su Firen looked surprised. That's not right. Your father was already a Martial King when he got married. So why was he still a Martial King more than 10 years later? Because he had to earn money to support the family, and went on missions every day, with no time to cultivate. Hong Yuan sighed. Cultivation is like sailing against the current. If you do not advance, you retreat. Grandfather once said privately that your father was loyal and talented, and if he focused on cultivation, he could at least reach martial ancestor. Su Firen said with regret. A beautiful woman is a warm bed, and love is the root of all misfortune. Your father was also a genius in his day, but in the end he became ordinary. Hong Yuan teased. You are young. Why do you talk like an old person? Just a feelie. Su Firen changed the subject. You said your father was killed by evil cultivators. Do you know which evil cultivator? Hong Yuan shook his head. I only know some details. My father's heart was removed, with black matter remaining in his body. The killer was good with fists and palms, with strength at least at the martial ancestor realm. Your description, Su Firen thought for a moment, is very similar to the evil cultivators of the Swallowing Demon sect. This organization loves hunting geniuses. Hong Yuan pressed. Why does the Swallowing Demon sect hunt geniuses? Su Firen hesitated. What I am about to say might be a bit cruel. Just say it. I can take it. They practice the Taotai great art, and by eating the hearts of geniuses, they can quickly improve their cultivation and talent. Su Firen added. The black matter should be from the Black Death hand. Those who practice this art have pitch black hands. Swallowing Demon sect Black Death hand. Hong Yuan silently noted. Your realm is too low right now. Do not go and get yourself killed, or your heart will be taken. Su Firen warned. I am not an idiot. Hong Yuan sighed. With my garbage talent, evil cultivators would not want my heart anyway. Is your talent that bad? Do not discriminate against me after I tell you. Hong Yuan warned first. I have F-rank talent. That is indeed very rare. Su Firen was speechless. F-rank talent is a 1 in 10,000 waste. SSS rank is a 1 in 10,000 genius. You are really unlucky to have F-rank talent. Your father was exceptionally talented. So how did he have a child like? That is enough. Hong Yuan interrupted forcefully. What is your talent? I will not say, so I do not discourage you. When they first met yesterday, Hong Yuan was bruised and bloody, and to ask for help, he risked stopping a car. His parents had just died, and he had been beaten by his uncles, coming to ask for help and almost getting hit. Around the same age, Su Firen felt sad just thinking about it. The two fell silent again, and this time Su Firen spoke. Have you learned the Dei Spear Manual? The Dei Spear Manual. Hong Yuan was stunned. From the name it sounds like a martial art of Dei Mans. Ion, did your father not teach you? Su Firen frowned. Grandfather adopted Hong's son as his adopted son, and valued him so much. He must have passed on the Dei Spear Manual to him. Hong Yuan shook his head. I have never seen my father use a spear. He always used his fists in fights. Su Firen was silent. No wonder grandfather said Hong's son was stubborn. After Hong's son broke ties with grandfather. Because it was the Su family's thing. He never taught it to the Hong siblings. And never used the Dei Spear Manual again. What is the Dei Spear Manual? Did my father know it too? Whether your father knew it, I am not sure. Su Firen chose to keep it vague. In ancient times 10 heroes appeared among humanity, and one of them was known as the Dei Spear Immortal. Our Su family is his descendant. The Dei Spear Manual was created by the Dei Spear Immortal, and the Su family has practiced it since childhood, but without talent and realm at a young age. They could only learn the basic forms. Hong Yuan was shocked. Your family actually has the blood of the ancient 10 heroes. Those are legendary figures. Our family is just a branch. So do not exaggerate. I am not exaggerating. Dei Mansion is a top family in the Great Xia Kingdom. Hong Yuan said seriously. Excessive modesty is arrogance. You are showing off a bit. Am I? Of course you are. Where am I showing off? That sentence itself is showing off. The train headed north, and the two talked through the night. With Su Firen's laughter occasionally heard. Time passed without notice. When they arrived in Jianghuai province, it was already 4 in the afternoon, and only an hour remained before school ended. Hong Yuan quickly took Su Firen home by car. Hong Yuan's home was not far from the station, and a taxi took 20 minutes to reach the neighborhood. Su Firen walked and asked, what are you going to do? I will talk first, but whether we reach an agreement or not, you will beat the two of them up in the end. Su Firen smiled slightly. Are you venting your anger? They took the elevator, and Hong Yuan pointed at his head. I am not venting. I am just returning the favor. The elevator reached the 16th floor, and Hong Yuan's door was open, with his second and third uncle's voices coming from inside. I just called Wang Defa, and the compensation for eldest brother and sister-in-law should be issued in the next 2 days. Across the way is Xiao Jian's house. Let's get Wang Defa to get Xiao Jian's house too. Then you live in eldest brother's house, and I live in Xiao Jian's house. We can be neighbors. Do not rush. Wait until the eldest brother's compensation comes through first. I am afraid Wang Defa might pull something. If he keeps his word, then we can plan for Xiao Jian's house and compensation. Hong Yuan was furious when he heard this. These two not only took his family house and compensation, but also wanted Xiao Xiao's family's house and compensation. They were ly beasts. Hong Yuan pushed the door open. The third uncle saw Hong Yuan and said, you dare come back. The second uncle snorted. Since you are my eldest brother's blood, I spared you last time. You really do not know when to die. Let me say this once. Hong Yuan looked at the two. Are you leaving or not? The second uncle narrowed his eyes. If I do not put you in bed for 3 months this time, my surname is not Hong. The third uncle saw Su Firen behind Hong Yuan, and seeing she was just a young girl, he relaxed. I thought you found some expert, but it is just a little girl. Who are you trying to scare? Your mother is an only child, and you have no uncles to help you. And on your father's side, seeing us too, they are even less likely to help you. Su Firen asked Hong Yuan, can I act now? Hong Yuan was uncertain. His 2 uncles were both 8-star martial masters, and Su Firen was only a 6-star martial master. He could not help, and the odds seemed low. Su Firen stepped forward, standing in front of Hong Yuan, and took 2 sections of spear shaft and a spear tip from her backpack. Hong Yuan smiled at the sight. Sharpening the blade at the last minute was really underestimating the two. Su Firen calmly assembled the spear, first joining the 2 shaft sections, then gently twisting them together. The third uncle was confused and looked at Hong Yuan. Are you leaving or not? If not, I will call the police. Hong Yuan laughed in anger. A magpie occupying a nest and acting like it is your home. How can there be such shameless people in the world? The second uncle bluffed. I will get Wang Defa to throw you in jail, so you won't bother us anymore. At least 3 to 5 years. Then you will behave. Su Firen picked up the spear tip, aligned it with the threaded connector, and twisted it in. With a click, the spear tip was fixed. The room was cramped, which was not good for a spear. Hong Yuan warned. Be careful. Su Firen held the spear and said casually, I do not need to be careful. The third uncle was about to bluster. Little girl, I do not hit women, but if you dare to act, do not blame me. He only got half a word out when a flash of silver light filled the room, and the spear shot out like a dragon. Hong Yuan could not even see it. Before the spear pierced the third uncle's shoulder, Su Firen pulled it back, and blood sprayed from the third uncle's shoulder. The second uncle was shocked, grabbed a nearby table, and threw it at Su Firen. Su Firen did not dodge, and swung the spear downward, like cutting silk, splitting the table in two. After throwing the table, the second uncle did not attack, and immediately opened the window, planning to jump and escape. Su Firen did not give him the chance, and threw the spear forward, pinning the second uncle to the window. Seeing Su Firen without a spear, the third uncle lunged at her. Su Firen stood still, and slowly extended a fist, seemingly very low, like a Tai Chi movement. The third uncle's body was uncontrollably drawn toward the fist, and the fist wind had already arrived. With a bang, the third uncle flew like a broken kite, and crashed heavily into the wall. Su Firen withdrew her fist. With a calm expression, the third uncle lay on the ground spitting blood, and the second uncle was pinned to the window howling. Su Firen walked to the second uncle, pulled out the spear, and asked calmly, "Do you know you were wrong?" The second uncle howled in pain, and slid down weakly, but his mouth was still tough. "What belongs to my eldest brother passes to the younger brother. What is wrong with that?" Su Firen was angry. "Your mistake is that before brother passes to younger brother, there is also father passes to son." The third uncle had veins bulging on his face, and roared, "Our parents only liked eldest brother, and gave him all the good things. What is wrong with me asking for some of his money? He is dead. What is wrong with me asking for his house? Why should I not have it? I cannot reason with you. You can go talk to the king of hell." Su Firen thrust the spear forward. Hong Yuan flew to grab the spear shaft. "Wait, what are you doing?" Su Firen was startled. "I almost stabbed you. I want to tear them to pieces too. But before my father died, he told me. He hoped I would spare their lives." Hong Yuan said sadly. "Besides taking care of my siblings, this was the only thing my father asked of me. I cannot go against his last wish." Su Firen withdrew the spear. "This is your family matter. Do as you wish. But my father only asked me to spare their lives." Hong Yuan added, "Can you cut their hand and foot tendons, and destroy their cultivation, so they won't bother me again?" Su Firen raised the spear again. "This is your family matter. Naturally, I will do as you wish." The second uncle was terrified. "Hong Yuan, you dare. You have a higher realm than me, so I dare not. But this sister D. Oh yes." Hong Yuan smiled. Su Firen wielded the spear, with a faint dragon roar. In the blink of an eye, the hands, feet, and dantian of the two uncles all burst with blood. Ah! The room echoed with miserable screams. Hong Yuan threw the two into the elevator, and ignored them, leaving them to their fate. Su Firen disassembled the spear and joked, "You are just littering. My siblings are about to come back, and the house is a mess. I need to clean up. I have no time to deal with them." Hong Yuan took out a basin and towel to wipe the blood. Su Firen also helped, and they managed to clean up before Hong Lan and Hong Hu returned. The voice of Hong Lan came from the door. "Brother, why is there blood in the elevator? Maybe someone had a leak." Hong Yuan played dumb. Hong Hu sniffed around. "Why does the house also smell of blood? This kid has a dog's nose. Even after air freshener, he could smell it. This is Sister Su Firen. Say hello." Hong Yuan changed the subject. The two were sensible, and said in unison, "Sister Su." Su Firen nodded, and signaled with her eyes to Hong Yuan. "When are you going to tell them about your parents?" Hong Yuan saw the two carefree, and shook his head. "Let's wait a little longer." Suddenly crying came from outside the door. "Director Wang, you must get justice for our family." Hong Yuan frowned. It was the voices of his second and third aunts, Hong Lan and Hong, who had not closed the door after entering. The two aunts followed behind Wang Defa to demand justice. Wang Defa said directly, "Hong Yuan, these two are accusing you of intentional injury. Come back to the security bureau with us." The second aunt pointed at Hong Yuan and shouted, "You little beast, you were too cruel. You destroyed your second uncle's cultivation, and cut his hand and foot tendons." The third aunt cried, "You have gone too far. How are we supposed to live now? How are you supposed to live?" Su Firen sneered. "Did you ever think about how Hong Yuan and the three of them would live?" The second aunt argued, "We only wanted his house, and 1/3 of the compensation. We did not want his life. One person does one person's deeds. I was the one who destroyed their cultivation, and cut their tendons. If you want trouble, come to me. It has nothing to do with Hong Yuan." Su Firen said seriously, "I did not even take their lives." The third aunt cried to Wang Defa, "Look at her, is she being reasonable? We are giving you half of the compensation. You must get justice for us." Wang Defa was afraid she would slip up, and waved to the people behind him. "Arrest Hong Yuan and this woman." "Are you sure you want to arrest me?" Su Firen stared at Wang Defa. Would I lie about that? Wang Defa shouted. Su Firen took out a token, engraved with the words Dei. I am Su Firen of Dei Mansion. Who dares to touch me? Wang Defa recognized it at a glance. His legs went weak, and his lips turned pale. You are from Dei Mansion. Su Firen ignored him, and said to the security bureau staff, arrest these two women, and their husbands, and this director Wang, and put them in jail. The security bureau staff saw the token, and did not hesitate, and arrested Wang Defa and the two aunts. On the spot, Su Firen went out to make a phone call. Hong Lan had long had red eyes, but held back her tears in front of others. Now that everyone was gone, she asked tearfully, brother, what happened to mom and dad? Nothing. What could have happened? Hong Yuan still could not bear to say it. Then what compensation was the second aunt talking about? Whose compensation? Hong Lan stared straight at Hong Yuan. Don't lie to me. Mom and dad went out on a mission. Almost 2 months ago. How could it take this long? And with no news at all. Hong who was slower to react. But he finally understood. This is not true. Dad is a martial king. How could he be dead? Hong Yuan knew he could not hide it anymore. Went to his room and brought out the ashes. And told them what happened. Su Firen came back after the phone call. And the three Hong siblings were huddled together, crying as a group. Hong who cried and cursed. Why did you not tell me sooner? Even if I told you. What could you do? Could you beat second and third uncle? Could you bring mom and dad back to life? Hong Yuan said with red eyes. I wanted to tell you too. But rather than let you both worry, I wanted to deal with these things first and then tell you. Su Firen saw this scene and could not help but be moved. Her eyes involuntarily reddening. They cried through the night. Until the next evening. Hong Lan and Hong who locked themselves in their rooms. And Su Firen was a little worried. Don't worry. They will be fine in a few days. I was the same before. Hong Yuan comforted her. Are you not sad anymore? Su Firen asked. Sometimes when I think of it, I still cannot help but get red-eyed. Hong Yuan forced a smile. But people have to move forward. And I still have to take care of Hong Lan and Hong Hu. I cannot stay sad forever. Wang Defa's position was removed. And he is in jail. With at least a life sentence. Su Firen said. His crimes are not that serious. Hong Yuan asked. My grandfather. Or put in a word. And they are handling it to the maximum extent. And my two uncles and aunts. They should also be locked up for a while. Su Firen said. Your parents' compensation will be deposited into your account today. The security bureau was efficient. And the money had already arrived. Totaling over 5 million. But I only kept 100,000. Seeing that Su Firen wanted to ask. Hong Yuan explained. The rest goes to Hong Lan and Hong Hu. 2,500,000 each. And 100,000 is enough for me. Shouldn't the money be split equally? I was not sensible before, and used too much of the family's money. So the compensation will go to them. With your family matters settled, I should return to Dei Mansion. Su Firen took out a book. My grandfather asked me to give this to you. Seeing the words Dei Spear Manual, Hong Yuan pushed it back. This is the Su family's hereditary art. I cannot accept it. You said to look forward. Su Firen smiled. Your father was my grandfather's adopted son. So you are my grandfather's grandchildren. And you can learn the Dei Spear Manual. My grandfather also said to keep in touch from now on. And remember to bring Hong Lan and Hong Hu to pay New Year's respects. Only then did Hong Yuan accept it. Alright. Su Firen clasped her hands. See you around. The sun was setting. And the evening light shone on the girl as she turned. And her high ponytail swayed. At first he felt nothing. But after spending time together, the girl looked back at Hong Yuan. And smiled, leaving one last sentence. I think you are actually not bad. When Hong Yuan and Su Firen got on the train, the diary could turn to the 4th page. But the two had been talking the whole time. And Hong Yuan had no time to check the 4th page. She had come all the way to help him. And Hong Yuan was very grateful. And offered to buy her a meal. But Su Firen was in a hurry to go home. So Hong Yuan could only see her off at the station. It was late when he got home. And he finally had time to check the diary. He turned to the 4th page. And its content matched reality, with Su Firen dealing with the two uncles, and then Wang Defa coming to cause trouble. The rest of the diary was about him working hard and cultivating again, all the way to the end of the 4th page, with the last date being May 30th. Seeing the diary content, Hong Yuan began to meditate, and cultivated until the next morning. He picked up the diary to turn the page, but could not open the 5th page, and the diary still stayed on the 4th page. Hong Yuan made a guess. If the last line of the diary recorded something trivial, like cultivation, gaming, or sleeping, even if he completed it, he could not turn the page. So he would have to wait until May 30th to turn to the 5th page. Today was April 15th, and there was still a month and a half until May 30th. Hong Yuan could not help but feel annoyed. What kind of stupid setting is this? Why is it that trivial matters, even when completed, cannot turn the page? The college entrance exam competition would be at the end of July. With 3.5 months left, he had to focus on cultivation and try to get good results. Hong Yuan ate a little something and then sat cross-legged again, diligently practicing. He was cultivating the 8-9 mysterious art, a top-tier technique. But his F-rank talent was a huge drag, and his absorption of spiritual energy was not fast. Those with A-rank talent, even with ordinary techniques, absorbed spiritual energy faster than Hong Yuan. It was like holding a top-tier divine weapon, but only having the strength of 3 stars, and being able to unleash only a tiny fraction of its power. But for Hong Yuan at this stage, that fraction was enough, at least to make his cultivation speed comparable to someone with B-rank talent. Su Firen took a 16-hour train, and finally returned to Dai Mansion. But it was all read. Why late? And she only went to see Su Tianbao the next morning, and told him the whole story. Hearing Su Firen's handling, Su Tianbao was satisfied. You did a good job. Su Firen was still angry. Hong Yuan's 2 uncles were simply detestable. If I were Hong Yuan, I would never have spared their lives. Su Tianbao stroked his white beard and laughed. So you are you. And Hong Yuan is Hong Yuan. If everyone were like you, the world would be boring. I am just angry. Su Firen's heroic face showed anger. She was genuinely angry for Hong Yuan. Although she had been very cool in front of Hong Yuan, Su Firen was only 18, and when alone with Su Tianbao, she still showed her true feelings. What do you think of Hong Yuan? Su Tianbao suddenly asked. In your words just now, you seemed very satisfied with him. Su Firen said. He is indeed a real man, with principles, responsibility, backbone, courage, and can handle things much better than those spoiled sons. Such a good man. Su Tianbao asked out of nowhere. Does he have a girlfriend? Hong Yuan had mentioned it. He had a girlfriend before, and they broke up after 3 or 4 months. Probably because she thought his talent was too poor. Breaking up because of poor talent. Su Tianbao was curious. What is Hong Yuan's talent? Is it very bad? Su Firen smiled and nodded. He has the worst F-rank talent. Su Tianbao was a little speechless, but still said, our family has power and influence, and plenty of experts. So when you girls look for a man, the most important thing is to see his character. Since you spoke so highly of Hong Yuan, and he happens to be single, you might as well try getting along with him. Hong Yuan is Hong Sen's son, so his character is definitely fine. Is that appropriate? Su Firen blushed. Why not? You were originally Hong Yuan's fiancé, and when Hong's son came to break it off, our Dai Mansion never agreed. Hong Sen's unilateral termination of the engagement does not mean the engagement is void. As long as we did not agree, your engagement is still valid. Su Firen said. I am not unwanted. Since he broke it off, I am not going back. Su Tianbao reminded. It was Hong's son who broke the engagement. Hong Yuan was only 2 or 3 at the time. He did not break it off. Su Tianbao said persuasively. At your age with your high realm, you can easily handle the college entrance exam. Jianghuai province has many scenic spots, and you have always been busy cultivating. You can take some time to visit. Is that appropriate? Hong Yuan also has to cultivate and take the martial arts college entrance exam. With Hong Yuan's F-rank talent, he can just coast through life and still wants to take the martial arts exam. Su Tianbao said. His realm is so low. You can go and guide him. I admit I have a bit of a liking for Hong Yuan, but I just got home, and going to find him immediately is not appropriate. Su Firen thought for a moment. I will wait until I have time to visit him. As you wish. Su Tianbao had no objection. Failing to become in-laws with Hong's son back then had always been his regret. If he could make a match, Hong's son would probably be furious in the afterlife, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Su Tianbao felt great just thinking about it. April 30th. Hong Yuan cultivated diligently, and finally accumulated 40 wisps of spiritual energy, and broke through to 4-star martial artist. The white mass in his dantian grew to the size of a bottle cap, with a richer color. Breaking through to 5-star required 50 wisps. At his current speed, he would probably not break through until mid-May. Too slow. Hong Yuan was a little irritated, closed his eyes, and continued meditating, and refined another wisp of spiritual energy. Suddenly his whole body heated up. An inexplicable heat spread through his limbs. His body grew hotter, and sweat came from his pores, quickly evaporating from the surface heat. Am I having a chi deviation? Hong Yuan quickly got up, ran to the bathroom, and doused himself with cold water. But the heat came from his dantian, and the cold water did little to cool him. The burning energy forced black grime out of his pores, which smelled foul, and he could not help but groan. A full hour passed before the burning energy dissipated. Hong Yuan collapsed in the bathroom, soaked through, and very thirsty. He opened his mouth and swallowed the water from the shower head. He rested for 3 hours before he had the strength to stand. Still weak and exhausted, he returned to his room and fainted on the bed, and did not wake until the next day. What happened last night? A mistake in cultivation. Or a chi deviation. Hong Yuan had heard Hong Sun say that a chi deviation could cause serious injury or death. He just had a fever, with a little weakness. Not that serious. It must have been a mistake in cultivation. He took out his phone and searched. When others made mistakes in cultivation, they usually coughed blood, fainted, had numb limbs, or bled from the 7 orifices. No one was like him, with a hot body, and black grime from his pores. Hong Yuan typed. During cultivation my body got hot, and black grime came out of my pores. The phone immediately showed results. Ancient martial artists during cultivation, due to the special nature of their techniques, would absorb spiritual energy to refine their bodies, making their physiques harder. Some rare techniques, after each body refinement, would not only make the physique harder, but also grant a technique ability. Hong Yuan saw the second line, and immediately remembered. A person has the fate of 8 yin and 9 yang. Cultivating the 8-9 mysterious art would eliminate 8 yin numbers and merge 9 yang numbers. Each merging of yang numbers would greatly increase cultivation. Each elimination of yin numbers would grant a divine ability. His realm was still 4-star, with no increase. So it was not a merging of yang numbers, but an elimination of 1 yin number. Eliminate 8 yin numbers. The divine abilities obtained are strong. With each battle. Heavenly eye. Threefold gathering of energy. 72 transformations. Earth skimming golden light. 3 heads and 6 arms. Heaven and earth manifestation. Indestructible primordial spirit. He had eliminated 1 yin number and obtained the first divine ability. Stronger with each battle. The 8-9 mysterious art description. Stronger with each battle. The more you fight, the stronger you get. Each time the body is attacked, spiritual energy is generated within. The stronger the attack, the more spiritual energy. In simple terms, getting beaten makes you stronger. Hong Yuan had experienced this before. When he was punched twice by his second uncle, he woke up to find extra spiritual energy in his body and broke through to 3-star on the train. At the time he did not know and thought his second uncle had opened his meridians. Now combining the description, Hong Yuan realized it. His talent was garbage, and his cultivation was too slow. 15 hours a day, for only 3 wisps of spiritual energy. With stronger with each battle, he did not need to cultivate, and could take a different approach, by going out to find someone to hit him. Since getting beaten made him stronger, why bother with bitter cultivation? Hong Yuan put on his clothes, and rushed out impatiently, but when he left the neighborhood, he was lost, with no grudges. How could he get someone to hit him? Hong Yuan thought of Sun Xiaochuan and Long Outyin, who had grudges. Provoking them would get him beaten. He did not know where Long Outyin lived, but he remembered where Sun Xiaochuan lived. In high school, Sun Xiaochuan bullied an honest classmate, and Hong Yuan chased him home. Hong Yuan followed his memory, and rode his e-bike to the old city, where the houses were run down. Suddenly, he saw a fat man blocking a girl in a remote alley. I have things to do. I do not have time to eat with you. The girl looked nervous. The fat man saw the girl trying to leave, and put his hand against the wall, thinking he looked cool. I have A-rank talent, and am already a 6-star martial artist. Follow me, and you will eat well. I already have a boyfriend. The girl pleaded. Please let me go. The fat man showed a fierce look. Bullshit. I asked your best friend. You do not have a boyfriend. Stop lying to me. I have come to you so many times. Today you will obey whether you like it or not. The fat man reached out, and the girl screamed in terror. This fat man was Sun Xiaochuan. Hong Yuan shouted. Beast. Let that girl go. Sun Xiaochuan had bought the Great Sun indestructible body, and had A-rank talent, so his realm should be above 6-star. Hong Yuan realized. Sun Xiaochuan was lazy, and only cultivated 2 or 3 hours a day, so he was only 6-star now. 2 minor realms higher than Hong Yuan. What a waste of the Great Sun indestructible body. Sun Xiaochuan turned around, and seeing Hong Yuan sneered. From afar it looked like a dog. Up close it is Hong Yuan. Hong Yuan was angry. You are doing well, daring to talk to me like that. Sun Xiaochuan added. I heard that your father is dead, and you have F-rank talent. I used to be afraid of your father, so I never fought back. Do you think I was afraid of you? Not many knew about his F-rank talent, and family shame should not be aired. Hong Lan and Hong Hu would not say it. Xiao Xiao was in secret training, and Su Firen was back in Jiangnan, so only Liu Ruyan, the big mouth, was spreading it everywhere. Hong Yuan deliberately provoked Sun Xiaochuan. I think you are still afraid of me. I am standing here, do you dare to hit me? Sun Xiaochuan calculated. He was 6-star. Hong Yuan was only 4-star. The advantage was his. Do you think I am still afraid of you? Today I will teach you a lesson. Sun Xiaochuan was fast, and in a blink was in front of Hong Yuan, and punched him in the chest. Hong Yuan did not dodge, and took the punch, staggering back a few steps, with blood trickling from his mouth. He could have fought back, but was afraid of hurting Sun Xiaochuan. This guy was afraid of pain, and one punch would make him stop. Sun Xiaochuan was helping him cultivate, so hitting him back would be too much. Hong Yuan took the punch and gained one wisp of spiritual energy. He wiped the blood from his mouth and showed disdain. Are you sure you are a 6-star martial artist? Sun Xiaochuan had been afraid of Hong Yuan since he had been beaten before with a psychological shadow. But seeing Hong Yuan spit blood, he grew bolder and rolled up his sleeves, walking toward Hong Yuan. You dare talk to me like that? I will teach you a lesson. Hong Yuan looked at the harassed girl. You go. The girl thanked him and ran off. Hong Yuan did not want anyone to see his miserable state of being beaten. Sun Xiaochuan did not chase the girl and grabbed Hong Yuan by the hair with his left hand and punched his stomach twice with high. That's right. He gained another 2 wisps of spiritual energy. Although it hurt a lot, Hong Yuan was very happy and almost laughed out loud. Sun Xiaochuan's realm was too low, and 3 punches only gave 3 wisps of spiritual energy. Second uncle was an 8-star martial master, and those 2 punches back then gave Hong Yuan more than 10 wisps of spiritual energy. Hong Yuan continued to mock. You useless piece of trash. Is that all the strength you have? You have a tough mouth. Sun Xiaochuan struck harder, with a hard punch to the chest. Hong Yuan gained 2 more wisps of spiritual energy. Sure enough, the heavier the hit, the more spiritual energy he got. But that punch hurt too much, and Hong Yuan almost knelt, with tears of pain in his eyes. If not for the elimination of Yin last night, which tempered his body and made his physique stronger, he really would not have been able to take it. Hong Yuan secretly wiped his tears and looked up to continue mocking. Is that your full power? I barely felt it. Sun Xiaochuan punched him in the face. Hong Yuan was defiant. If you have the guts, kill me. Otherwise I will come back tomorrow. Sun Xiaochuan punched his nose again. Hong Yuan was still defiant. Your punches are weaker than a 3-year-old's. Sun Xiaochuan gritted his teeth and aimed at Hong Yuan's lower body. Damn! Hong Yuan cursed and reached out to block his good buddy. You can hit me, but hitting the family jewels is too much. Who cares? Sun Xiaochuan was panting. Being fat, he was already out of breath after a few punches. Useless thing, already tired. Is that all you have? Hong Yuan's tone was stern, like a strict father. The 2 fought and cursed, and a few minutes later an alarm sounded, and security bureau people arrived. Sun Xiaochuan heard the alarm, looked around, and ran off directly. Hong Yuan knelt on one knee. It must have been the girl who called the police. What a busybody. He had not had enough yet. The girl brought Uncle Wong with her. Uncle Wong saw Hong Yuan. Who hit you? I accidentally fell. Hong Yuan did not plan to expose Sun Xiaochuan. If he went to jail, there would be no one to hit him later. The girl wanted to speak, but Hong Yuan quickly erupted. Thank you, Uncle Wong. I am really fine. Do not worry about me. Uncle Wong sighed. I know your parents died, and you are sad, but do not degrade yourself. Hong Yuan was confused, and could only insist. I am fine. I am leaving. Under their gaze, Hong Yuan limped out of the alley. After returning home, his chest and stomach were covered in bruises, and he could only lie on the bed, being beaten by Sun Xiaochuan. Of course it hurt, but he had gained 24 wisps of spiritual energy. If he cultivated by himself, it would take at least 8 days, at 15 hours a day. Although it hurt, it was a happy pain. One more beating from Sun Xiaochuan, and he could break through to 5-star. That night Hong Lan called him to eat, but Hong Yuan dared not go out, and lied that he was cultivating. After half a month, Hong Lan and Hong Hu slowly came out of their grief, though they still got red-eyed when thinking of their parents. After a night of rest, the bruises faded, and the pain was much better. Hong Yuan, after all, was a 4-star martial artist, and had eliminated 1 Yin, so his recovery was faster than ordinary people. At noon Hong Lan and Hong Hu went to school, and the doorbell rang. Who is it? A timid voice answered from outside. Me. A familiar voice. Hong Yuan got up and opened the door. At the door was a short girl, head down, with faded school uniform, and a hole in her cloth shoes. It was the girl Sun Xiaochuan had harassed yesterday. Hong Yuan did not know her name. The girl kept her head down, holding a basket of eggs, and said timidly, My name is Ing Huan Huan. Thank you for yesterday. Come in. Hong Yuan letting Huan Huan inside. How do you know where I live? Ing Huan Huan saw the decor, and hid the eggs behind her. The security bureau uncle told me yesterday. I asked him first. Hong Yuan got a drink. I have no boiled water. Do you want this? No thank you. Have a seat. Hong Yuan pointed to the sofa. W. How did you come to see me? I will not sit. I am afraid of dirtying the sofa. Ing Huan Huan took out the eggs. Thank you for yesterday. Please take these to nourish your body. Hong Yuan could tell Ing Huan Huan came from a modest family, and this basket of eggs was probably the best thing she had. But he had only helped her incidentally, and did not deserve to take it. But refusing would make her feel even more inferior. So Hong Yuan changed the subject. Why do you keep your head down? Does your neck not get tired? I am used to it, so it does not. You came to thank me, without even lifting your head, not looking me in the eye. Hong Yuan joked, and Ing Huan immediately looked up. No, I do not look down on you. With just one glance, Hong Yuan sighed inside. No wonder Sun Xiaochuan harassed her. She was indeed beautiful, with pitiful big eyes, a small cherry mouth and skin like snow, with a faint blush on her cheeks, like a startled little rabbit, a delicate beauty. After my parents died, the three of us do not know how to cook, and always order takeout. The eggs would be wasted on me. You take them home. Hong Yuan pushed the eggs back. That will not do. Ing Huan lowered her head again, with her legs together, and clutching her clothes. Because of me, you were beaten so badly by Sun Xiaochuan. Hong Yuan was speechless. He could not say it was for cultivation. If Sun Xiaochuan bothers you again, call me. Hong Yuan took out his phone. What is your number? I do not have a phone. And besides, Ing Huan did not finish. You also cannot beat Sun Xiaochuan. Hong Yuan scratched his head. He had been insensitive. Wait a moment. Hong Yuan went to his room and brought out an old phone. This phone is almost new, used for only half a year. Take it. I cannot take it. I am not giving it for free. You have to help me too. If you see Sun Xiaochuan, remember where he is. Hong Yuan handed the phone to Ing Huan. This is very impo. Return to me, please. Yesterday, he ran into Sun Xiaochuan by chance, and might not be so lucky in the future. Hong Yuan needed an informant. Ing Huan hesitated, and finally took the phone. His house is across from mine. When I see him go out, I will send you a message. Hong Yuan nodded, and took out another book. As compensation, Ing Huan took the book, with the words Supreme Induction Chapter on the cover. The Supreme Induction Chapter was an ordinary manual, costing 4,000 yuan. Ing Huan did not even have a phone, so she definitely did not have a manual either. Hong Yuan had bought it earlier, and later obtained the 8-9 mysterious art, so this was a good favor. I already have a cultivation manual, and this would be a waste if I keep it. You cannot refuse. I saved you before, and one must be principled. Hong Yuan said a lot. He was good to Ing Huan, not because of her looks. After seeing the last page of the diary, he vowed never to let Xiao Xiao down. Hong Yuan helped Ing Huan, simply because he could not stand by, just like when he helped the classmate bullied by Sun Xiaochuan. Influenced by Hong's son, he had developed the character of helping those in need. The conversation ended. Ing Huan did not give away the eggs, and even received a phone and a manual, and left the room with a dazed mind. Another day passed. The bruises were faint, and the pain was almost gone. Hong Yuan called Ing Huan, and learned that Sun Xiaochuan was home. He immediately rode his e-bike to the old city. Hong Yuan threw a brick at Sun Xiaochuan's window. Sun Xiaochuan came out to check, and Hong Yuan hid in the dark, and threw another brick, hitting Sun Xiaochuan on the head. The two went one after another to a remote alley. Young people care about face, and being beaten in public was embarrassing, so they ran to the remote alley, facing Sun Xiaochuan's fists. Hong Yuan covered his head and lay on the ground, letting him hit his back, not his face. Bang 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 bang. Sun Xiaochuan kicked and punched. His fists were like a storm, landing on Hong Yuan's back. Hong Yuan groaned in pain. Foolish Sun Xiaochuan, please whip me hard. The pain and damage you cause will only become nourishment to help me grow strong. The pain that does not kill me only makes me stronger. Sun Xiaochuan beat him for 10 minutes, until Hong Yuan passed out, before leaving satisfied. 2 hours later, Hong Yuan woke up, with his back burning like needles, and it hurt to move. But the gain was huge, with 60 wisps of spiritual energy in his body, enough to break through to 5-star and still have 10 left. He rested at home for a day, and after slightly recovering, he immediately mobilized the spiritual energy, and broke through to 5-star martial artist. This time the injuries were too heavy, and he rested for 4 days before going out, to provoke Sun Xiaochuan again. May 18th. Hong Yuan broke through to 6-star, with rapid cultivation progress. Sun Xiaochuan also broke through to 7-star, with the Great Sun indestructible body, and A-rank talent. If he were diligent, he would be 9-star by now. At the end of May, Hong Yuan broke through to 7-star, on par with Sun Xiaochuan. For the 7th time Hong Yuan arrived at Sun Xiaochuan's door, for the 7th time to provoke him. This time Sun Xiaochuan had a change of attitude, and seeing Hong Yuan, opened the door and knelt, crying bitterly. Brother, I was wrong. Hong Yuan was stunned. What are you doing? Get up and hit me. Oh my brother, how dare I hit you? The more I hit you, the stronger you get. You were originally a 4-star martial artist. Sun Xiaochuan was scared. I beat you a few times, and you broke through to 7-star. If I keep beating you, you will become a god. This guy was not stupid, and guessed that Hong Yuan was using him to cultivate. Hong Yuan was helpless. You useless thing. Hong Yuan grabbed his collar. I told you to keep hitting. Sun Xiaochuan was about to cry. If I keep hitting you, and you end up with a higher realm than me, will you come back and hit me? Hong Yuan did have that idea, having been beaten 6 times. He certainly had some resentment. I have never had such a dirty thought. Hong Yuan said righteously. You helped me cultivate. How could I repay kindness with enmity? Do you take me for an ungrateful villain? After saying this, Sun Xiaochuan did not believe him, and Hong Yuan himself did not believe it either. The atmosphere was silent, and both were a little awkward. Hong Yuan threw a punch at Sun Xiaochuan's fat face. I told you to hit me. If you do not hit me, I will hit you. Under duress, Sun Xiaochuan had to hit him, and while hitting asked, Brother, is this force okay? Are you not even eating? Hong Yuan shouted, and then warned, Do not let me find out you are bullying Ing Huan, or I will punch your pig head in. When a person is afraid, they act with caution, and Sun Xiaochuan was like that. Even with Hong Yuan's repeated warnings, he still dared not punch hard. Hong Yuan took dozens of punches, and only got 3 wisps of spiritual energy. He shoved Sun Xiaochuan away. Are you doing this on purpose? I told you to use force.